My best friend demanded I break up with my boyfriend, but won't tell me why.
I just don't like him.
My boyfriend, we'll call him Blake, 25 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for 3 years. Before we dated, we used to be co-workers at a retail store when we were both 17. The first thing I noticed about Blake when we met was that he never smiled or showed any emotion. He always had a serious, blank look on his face, even when customers or our coworkers would try to joke with him. He never cracked a smile or laughed, which would make it awkward for them. By the way, this comes from user GatorTater5000, and I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give you a little good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, just let us know in the comments. And OP says, however, Blake has always been respectful to those around him and never once raised his voice. Our coworkers always thought Blake was weird and warned me to avoid him. However, despite all that, Blake and I ended up getting along great and becoming good friends. Over the years, Blake and I became really close, and I would occasionally see him smile or laugh. On my 22nd birthday, which is on Valentine's, Blake had asked me to come over to his house and said it was serious. When I got there, it was full of decorations and flowers, and Blake was dressed nicely. He gave a long speech about how much our friendship meant to him and asked if I wanted to be his girlfriend. It was the first time I had seen Blake so vulnerable. I, of course, said yes, and we had been a happy couple since then. Now on to the issue. My best friend, let's call her Sarah, 26 female, and I have been friends since we were in the 5th grade. Sarah and I were each other's partners in crime. She had never met Blake before, as by the time we graduated high school, she had moved away to stay with her dad in another city. I, of course, talked about him and showed pictures of him and me together when we became closer and started dating. However, she once stated how she found it weird that he never was really smiling or seemed happy when he was with me, and that I shouldn't be dating someone who doesn't want to be happy around me. I brushed it off and just assured her that's how he is, and that he's actually a sweet guy. She had recently come back to our city and wanted the 3 of us to meet together. We decided to meet at a restaurant. When we got there, Sarah and I ran at each other and squealed like little girls while Blake just stood and watched us. When Sarah looked at Blake, I noticed her expression immediately changed, and she awkwardly smiled and shook his hand and only said hi to him. Blake just nonchalantly said it was good to meet her. She then went back to talking to me, completely ignoring Blake. When we got our menus, Blake couldn't find a meal he would enjoy and just said he would be fine with a small appetizer. Sarah unexpectedly said, "Why? Is nothing here good enough for you? Why would you agree to come here if you weren't going to get anything then?" She tried to say it like it was a joke, but any person can tell it was obviously not. I then defended Blake, claiming he could have whatever he liked, and it wasn't a big deal. Sarah then dropped it at that. Throughout our dinner, Sarah was ignoring Blake and was only trying to talk to me. Blake just stayed silent and watched us. When she did include him, she would seemingly only ask him questions that would only need a one-word answer. And when he did answer, she would just give him side eyes or just say, "Okay, then." At one point, she excused herself to the bathroom, and when she left, I asked Blake if he was okay. And he assured me he was, and just wanted me to catch up with my friend. After dinner, the 3 of us went for a walk. We then came across a person walking a small puppy, and Sarah and I cooed and were giggling at how cute the puppy was. Blake was just standing, watching us fawn over the puppy. Once the dog owner left, Sarah turned to Blake, and she immediately became angry and asked, "How the F could you not even smile for a puppy? Are you seriously that soulless?" I was immediately shocked about my friend's sudden change of tone and was about to say something, but Blake just shrugged and walked away, continuing our walk. I asked her what her problem was, and she immediately apologized and said she didn't mean to yell. Our walk then became awkward. I then had to use the bathroom, and we found a nearby store. I went in, and Blake and Sarah waited for me outside. When I came back, I found Sarah hysterically yelling at Blake. I immediately ran over to them and asked what the heck was going on. Sarah was in hysterics, but she kept yelling, "It's not going to happen! I will never let this happen!" I asked her what she was talking about, but all she said was Blake was a sociopath and demanded I break up with him. I looked at Blake, who was just as shocked as I was. I kept trying to ask the both of them what had happened, but neither would answer me. People started staring, and I desperately tried to calm Sarah down. Eventually, I told Blake to walk back to the car so we could go home, and I would call an Uber for Sarah. When we were alone, I was trying to get Sarah to tell me what had happened, but she just stayed silent. Blake came back to pick me up, and Sarah was just giving him the evil eye. Thankfully, Sarah's Uber came and took her back to her hotel. Our car ride home was awkwardly silent, but as soon as we got home, I demanded to know what happened between him and Sarah. Blake just stayed silent. I'm so annoyed with both of them.
Yeah, why is he being silent?
Because that's
now he's
just his whole
suspicious.
MO. He's
just
Mr.
like, I don't know.
Mr. Cool, Calm, and
She's
silent
like, what
type.
happened? He's like,
Okay, Blake said he couldn't say what happened, but that he was so sorry. I asked him to please just say what happened. He only said he swore he didn't do anything bad, but that he simply just couldn't say what happened. I then told him I was going to sleep in the guest bedroom as I just couldn't handle everything that was happening. He said he understood and told me he loved me and went to our room. An hour ago, I got a text from Sarah. I will copy and paste it here. Sarah, I'm really sorry about what happened tonight, but please listen to me. You need to break up with Blake. He's a literal sociopath who is only using you. He doesn't deserve you. I'm telling you this because I love you and want to protect you. Please break up with him. I haven't responded to her text. Reddit, I don't know what to do. I don't know what caused such a huge fight that neither can tell me about. Any advice on how I can get the truth would be helpful. And there is an update. How would we get the truth? Maybe you go get the security footage from outside of the spot where you used the restroom.
I think I need everyone in the comments to be like, you don't need the truth yet. You're probably going to find the truth out soon. Maybe just hold off.
What?
I think he's going to propose now. And now I'm like, no one tell her. No one tell her. Just be like, I think everything's fine. And maybe also cut your friend Sarah off. Because she's crazy.
I mean, it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, well, your boyfriend like doesn't smile and like laugh. Like, does he even like you? But it's another thing to then be like, oh, like I'm meeting him, getting to know him.
Yeah.
And every single thing I'm doing is like to try to antagonize him.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know, because on the surface, when you don't know somebody and you hear that, it's like, oh, are they like cool or like
I am
what?
wondering how OP talked about it though. If before she met him, she was like, that he's a psychopath. You know,
Yeah.
like was OP like, yeah, he never like smiles or anything, but I like him.
But anyway, there is an update. The night I made this post, I had some time to sit and think about everything that happened. I wanted to hear Blake out first, so I decided not to read Sarah's messages. Once Blake came home, I asked if we could talk, to which he agreed. I sat him down and started by apologizing for walking away from him the night before and for not defending him more during the hangout. I assured him I love and trust him deeply. Eventually, Blake told me what happened. Some of you guessed it right. Blake was planning on proposing to me. When I left, he confided in Sarah that he was planning to propose to me and asked if she could help him choose a ring. Blake then said Sarah asked if he was being serious, and when he said he was, she then started screaming and lashing out at him. She screamed at him that this engagement will never happen. You don't deserve her. And that's when I came outside. I was beyond shocked. I then hugged him and asked if that was the reason he didn't want to tell me. Blake said yes, because he didn't want to ruin the surprise. I told him it wasn't causing us any problems and that I love him even more now. We both then hugged it out and made up. Blake then asked what Sarah had said about the situation. I admitted to him that I didn't read anything she had sent. After a while, I finally turned on my phone, and I honestly wished that I didn't. Sarah had got our friends, my sister, and my aunt involved, and even involved my estranged dad, which was a real low blow. For context, my dad and I are no longer on speaking terms due to an incident with my former stepmom. After finally reading my family and friends' messages, it sums up that Sarah had told them I'm with a sociopath and that I'm refusing to leave him even when she tried to help. So now the people who once knew the sweet-loving Blake think he is a crazy person and are begging me to leave him. I had spent the whole night trying to clear the air with everyone, except my dad, Unfortunately, my aunt and some of my friends are still agreeing with Sarah. There were so many texts from Sarah, but it ranged from her begging me to answer her, to her being mad that I was taking Blake's side and not hers, to her apologizing for involving my dad, but saying it was for my own good. I had only sent her one text. I don't understand how you expect me to take your side when you never told me why you said what you said. Blake had already told me what happened, and I can't even imagine what your side is. I can't believe you effing lied to our friends and my family, and for you to involve my dad. How the F do you even have his number? Above all, you disrespected my relationship and my boyfriend. F you. I have since blocked her. Not a great update, but Blake and I are doing okay. He has been very understanding and patient throughout all of this. And there is a second update. Is Blake actually a sociopath?
Is he sociopath or is he just proposing?
Or is he secretly, like, does he already have a body double? He has a secret twin nobody else knows about, and they both play the same character.
The proposal has already started.
While Blake 1 is having a fight with Sarah outside the store, Blake 2 is actively planning the
prestige.
Proposal. Yeah,
But it's the proposal.
It's the proposal, the propostige.
The propostige, starring Sandra Bullock.
And Christian Reynolds.
Perfect. That's a 5-star movie right there.
5-star movie from 5-star people. Update number 2. Hey, I'm back again. After my last update, Blake and I had a discussion regarding the issue with my family and friends. I invited my sister over and asked her what exactly Sarah had said to her about Blake and me. My sister told me that Sarah had told her that while we were hanging out, Blake had been acting cold and rude towards me. She claimed he was ignoring me and lashed out when I tried to talk to him. She then supposedly tried to tell me he was acting toxic towards me and that I should leave, to which I supposedly refused and told her to mind her own effing business. Then, that's when I left. Blake had told her that he was going to marry me, and that's when she lashed out. So other than the last part, she told a whole big fat lie. After some confirmation from other friends, it was clear that's the story she told. I was pissed. And so was Blake, especially since his proposal was ruined. Some commenters and even my sister suggested I get everyone who was told this lie to meet with me and clear the air. So we decided to do that. I had made a group chat of those that had contacted me about Blake, besides my dad, and told them that I needed to have a face-to-face talk with them all. We all mutually agreed to meet on Monday night. Come Monday night, after everyone sat down, I started off by saying how amusing it was, how they all instantly believed Sarah over me, and how angry and disappointed I was in them. I then told the real story of what happened. I spared no detail. Then made it crystal clear that Blake was a good boyfriend and still the same good, caring person that they met. I ended by stating that anyone who tries to tell me to break up with Blake again or call him any names will be cut off. Thankfully, they all finally believed me and have apologized to Blake for how they acted and apologized to me for automatically believing Sarah. I thought that would be the end of it. I was able to convince everyone that Sarah was lying. I had Sarah and my dad blocked, and Blake and I were as happy as ever. But I spoke too soon. On Thursday, while I was at work, I got a notice from our security team telling me my girlfriend was here to see me. I obviously knew who it was. However, I went down to see her anyway, as I feared if I didn't go see her, she would lash out like how she did with Blake. When I saw her, she looked happy to see me, but I was pissed. I told her she needed to leave and never try to come near me and not dare to go near Blake, or I was going to call the police. She started her crocodile tears and told me that this was the only way to talk to me. She told me after I told everyone the real story, they all got mad at her for lying, and most of our mutual friends cut her off.
Well, the consequences of your own actions.
No, she's literally meeting up to be like, dude, you don't understand. I had consequences for the lies that I told about you. And
it's not fair.
And it's like, once you told everyone the truth, now people don't treat me the same way. Because they know I'm a liar.
Fix
Why?
this.
Why?
Tell them to stop.
Why were you so mean to me to do that? Stop it. I told her she deserved it for trying to ruin my relationship. She started to apologize and told me she didn't want to lose me and that she wanted to explain herself. At that point, I was already scared and embarrassed as she started getting loud. I told her she had her chances to tell me her side. Instead, she chose to spread a lie and try to turn everyone against Blake. I gave her one last warning to leave or I would have security make her leave. Surprisingly, she did leave. I was on edge the rest of my shift. Then I kept getting messages from a random number calling me a stupid witch and that they hated me.
I wonder who that is. They're like, you'll never guess who I am, but you're stupid and I hate you.
Yeah.
You're dumb.
OP continues that my strong guess was my father. But every time I blocked the number, a new one would text me.
See, I just assumed that was Sarah.
Yeah, I also assumed that that would be Sarah.
Why would that be your father?
Clearly bad dad territory.
For sure, but like, I don't know.
It seems like the
It seems like the most likely culprit.
the
would be
planets,
Sarah.
the moon and the sun aligned.
Yeah.
After I got home, Blake was waiting for me and asked what was wrong. I confided in him what happened. I don't know why I became so emotional, but I started to cry. I had a small fear all this would make Blake break up with me. He reassured me that was never going to happen and that I was his girl and that he smiled on the inside the night I was defending him to my friends and aunt. And we are heading towards the end of the story here. Yeah, I think you did the right thing.
I agree.
I think you blocked Sarah. You got all the relevant parties
Yeah.
who
Told
were
them the
lied
truth.
to. Oh, excuse me. Who were lied to, and then
And that's all you
set
can
the
do.
record straight. And you and Blake are doing just fine.
I think you should tell security or whoever said that your girlfriend was here, though, that she's not your girlfriend because you went down and greeted her. So maybe they still think that. And they'll let her up next time. So just be like, that's not my girlfriend, by the way.
Definitely clarify that. Be like, yeah, by the way, that is my enemy.
That is my mortal enemy.
That is not a friend.
My foe
She is a creature
of the night.
from a lagoon of some kind.
Perhaps black
Now,
lagoon.
let us finish. Ever since then, I've been getting a lot of unknown calls and texts. I've taken screenshots of all of them before blocking, as I'll probably need to file a police report. My sister and some of my friends suggested I meet with Sarah and have her admit everything she's done, and even finally get her side of the story. Blake told me to choose whatever I feel safe with. After talking and thinking about it with Blake, I've decided to go with meeting her. I had unblocked her and told her I was open to hearing her out now on the condition we meet at a public place, and she told me the full truth. I had sent that message a few hours ago, and she hasn't responded, and that is the end of that story?
I refused to babysit, so my boyfriend told his son not to trust me.
And that's your right. That's your right to refuse service.
I'm 27 and female. He, Jake, is 29 and has a kid, Timmy, who is 8. We started dating a little over 2 years ago. Jake has full custody of Timmy. About 6 months into our relationship, I was helping him with his budget. Timmy's after-school childcare is expensive, and it turned out that the hourly rate during meal times was almost double. By the way, this comes from Not Mama Burnout, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Riley.
And I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, Jake asked me if I would mind starting to pick Timmy up after my shift, which would cut the dinner hour off and save money. I agreed, and to be honest, it wasn't a big deal. The pickup was on my way home, and Timmy would play video games for 45 minutes while I studied until his dad came home. After I got my master's, I had more flexibility in my work schedule. Jake started pushing me to start work an hour earlier, as this would mean I could pick Timmy up earlier and he would save more money. This was a major discussion, but I finally agreed because I knew money was tight. Then in August, my roommates moved and I found myself needing a new place to live. Jake and I decided to move in together. Soon afterward, Jake shifted his shift back an hour, claiming it was easier to help Timmy get ready for school if he wasn't having to leave at the same time. However, this meant I had Timmy an extra hour alone. Again, this was a major discussion, but I gave in. Then Jake decided he was going to start going to the gym after work. For the record, this makes our schedule Monday through Friday that I go to work while they are asleep. Jake gets Timmy on the bus in the morning, goes to work, goes to the gym, and comes back when Timmy is in bed. Meanwhile, I pick Timmy up and provide care for 5 hours, including dinner, bath, and bedtime, solo. When I said I didn't like this setup, Jake screamed that I wasn't taking his health seriously. It's been an ongoing fight for the last few months. After New Year, Jake announced that Timmy was old enough to get himself up for school. Then he said that he had taken a completely different shift so that he would work out in the morning. The shift is 12 to 9 and includes Sundays. This means the only time he will even see Timmy is after school on Wednesdays when he has off. And I'll be expected to provide all childcare for the rest of the week. I said absolutely not. This was too far. There was a huge argument where Jake said I wasn't being a team player for the family. Then he took Timmy aside and told him not to trust me or listen to anything I said because I lied about caring for him.
Man, this sucks.
Leave this man.
Don't like this
I do not like this at all.
You have been made into a mother.
Yeah, you did not. There was no conversation about you being a mother. There was no, you are not married to this man. And I'm not saying that people can't be mothers if they're not married to that person. But, you did not sign up for this. You do not want this.
Yeah.
Girl, don't do this. I left. Good. I've been at a friend's house since Thursday. Jake wants to meet tonight to try to make up. I'm not sure if I should go, and if I do, what I should say. I feel like every time I agreed to help, he pushed things further on me. And while I don't mind helping a partner with a kid, I don't want to be the full-time mom. We have some relevant comments. Blue Fruit in a Suit says, no, instant red flag right there. Dump him. Cat Wonderlust says, it sounds like he wanted a free nanny more than a significant other. You aren't this child's mother, and you shouldn't be expected to act like it. At least not until you're more serious or married, etc. He was taking advantage of the situation and not being a very present father. I would say meet him for closure if you feel that you need it, but I wouldn't let myself go back to them. Not unless they can really change and value you, along with any bit of help with the child you decide to give. Telling that child that you're a liar, though, that's a huge deal breaker in my opinion.
So much of the other stuff is already so bad that we did gloss over the fact that
he looked that child in the eyes and was like, she doesn't care about you.
She said she cared about you and she didn't. That's so
insane.
Rude.
Update. 6 days later. I met with Jake a day later. I wanted extra time to think. He initially acted really lovey-dovey when we met up and told me that Timmy was making me a giant welcome home sign for when I came back. I said we needed to talk first. I basically had written down an estimated number of hours I was providing active care for Timmy in the past few months versus him. Then how many hours of care he was predicting we each provide, which was 4 of his hours compared to 50 of mine. I said that I hadn't had time to pursue hobbies, go to the gym, etc. in the last few months, and also that we hadn't done anything as a couple. I said for me to come back, he had to change all of that. He answered with his own list of stuff, which was confusing. Like, his mom wants me to raise Timmy's grades more as he struggles with reading. And he thinks that we should enroll him in a club. I was upset because it was all stuff I'd have to do additionally to my workload. I said I wouldn't. He said I'd come around.
First of all, no wonder your son is struggling with reading. You're struggling to read the room. I'm mad.
Yes.
I'm mad. I also hate, there is genuinely something a little bit, sinister about you'll come around.
This feels
that feels not good.
Yeah. Then he said that I had put him in a bind for childcare the last 2 days and asked if I would come and watch Timmy for him anyway. Watch your freaking kid, dude. I said I would help for a few days.
No. No,
do
don't friggin' do that. I know you've already done it because it's in the Reddit story, but go back in time and don't do that.
I said I would help for a few days if we have a sit down, and he told Timmy that I'm not untrustworthy as he had told the boy earlier. He refused, saying that I proved I was untrustworthy by threatening to break up. Then he asked if I would at least chaperone him to a birthday party that's coming up at a bounce trampoline place. I said absolutely not, that I was undermined authority and that was awful in a place that dangerous. Yeah, he left. By the way, we'll never leave you because there's full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left, but wow.
Wowie wow. Yeah, 678 says this is why she shouldn't have gone to meet him. Yeah, it's hard because it's like it's not on her for going back to have the conversation, but
Honestly,
yeah, again, you
though,
have to go in and know that like I am not going to be pushed,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be coerced.
which I feel like she did. She wasn't pushed. She said, I will do this for you only if this happens. And he said no, and she was like, then no. My friends went with me to get my stuff yesterday. I've been a mess, but friends are convincing me to go out with them a few places next week, and I might take up dance classes again starting February.
Okay.
Thank you for all showing me I wasn't completely off base. Yeah, OP's gonna have so many hobbies now. It's gonna be like,
Yes.
you're gonna live
Salsa,
your life.
whittling,
Pottery.
patisserie.
What?
Pottery. I said patisserie.
Is that like
Patissier.
pastry?
Yeah, pastry.
Pastry making? Yeah.
I had
Make
I had
pastries.
2 hobbies on lock and then really had to dig deep.
Crocheting.
Crocheting.
Stilt walking.
Still
Oh.
walking, clowning, trapeze, juggling, run away with the circus.
Write the next American novel.
Sure. Final comments. Poking the crazy. So you're telling him that you spend all your time caring for his kid, and then he tells you more ways to spend time with his kid. What a poop head. I feel bad for his son. And if you didn't have time to work out, clearly he wasn't prioritizing your health.
I forgot about that. I forgot that he was like, you're not prioritizing my health because you won't let me go to the gym after work. This guy sucks.
Yeah. Boo. Opie responds, it was more like I phrased my list as, I have some things that I need to change for us to move forward. And he sort of jumped on it and started his, well, this is all stuff I've been thinking about. I don't even think he listened to me, just heard the opening to list demands. Harb Hub says, perhaps this is an inappropriate question, but I'm really curious to understand how someone like you, driven, mature, caring, empathetic, etc., ever ends up in a relationship with someone like your ex. Short-sighted, immature, manipulative, selfish, etc. If anyone can explain that to me, I'd appreciate the lesson. Anyways, I'm glad you've exited that one-sided relationship. NOP says, it wasn't like it happened at once. When we started dating, it was a lot of active stuff because Timmy would be with us, so we'd go skiing or roller skating or to the beach. I never had a problem with him being there. And the original 1-hour deal was honestly no biggie. It made sense financially. Each favor from there on just grew and grew. My friend I'm staying with has told me I need to reread If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Harb Hub responds, I appreciate your response. I hope that my question wasn't offensive to you. My curiosity comes from a place of empathy, and I intend to leverage what I learn in order to grow. It seems that the slow regression is somewhat common in these types of relationships. I can see how the one foot in the door can turn into the entire elephant is in the room now. When it starts off as a seemingly reasonable compromise and then festers into unreasonable expectations and demands. And OP responds, I think the part that's hard right now is that each step was just a little more and I fought a little more. But when I put my foot down, he made it sound like the issue was just the last request and that it came out of nowhere. As though I was just suddenly being unreasonable for the last small change. That's what hurts. That's the end of that story. Good on you, OP, for leaving.
Dude, enjoy your dance classes.
Yeah.
Enjoy your masters. She's got a master's degree
yeah.
and she's got a tight 2-step.
Like,
She's doing great.
tap dancing next.
Tap dancing.
I love a good tap dance.
My friends are getting divorced and it's heavily affecting me.
This isn't even my marriage.
My 32 female husband, 35 male, has had this best friend, Robbie, 36 male, since they met in college and became roommates. They're basically brothers, and I consider him family. Robbie had always been with Lindsay, 36 female, since just before I met my husband. At that time, they had just moved away to a different state. By the way, this comes from Shampoo Mohawk, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Carly.
We are here to give you some good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. So we're just going to tell you what we would do in this situation, and you guys let us know in the comments what you would do. Despite the distance, we all built a really close friendship through visits and regular communication. I became good friends with Lindsay, though obviously not quite like the relationship in history my husband had with Robbie. 2.5 years ago, Robbie and Lindsay got engaged. Then they got pregnant a few months after that. Technically a oops. But they weren't exactly taking any precautions to prevent it, and had their son in January 2022 before their wedding in May 2022. My husband was the best man, and I ended up the stand-in maid of honor when Lindsay's sister caught the vid just days before the wedding. Ugh, I was already a bridesmaid. All of the backstory is to really emphasize how I feel about this couple and their son. I love them. They're my family. I would do anything for them. They had plans to move back to our city as soon as the housing market was better. We would all talk and laugh about the trips we wanted to take together in the future. We even booked a New Year's cruise, all 5 of us, for this December. In my maid of honor improvised speech, I rambled about how I could see carpools and backyard birthday parties and family dinners in our future with them. Lindsay's mom cried. It was such a happy day. Last week, my husband dropped the bomb. Robbie is divorcing Lindsay. The first question out of my mouth was, of course, why? What happened? The only explanation I've received so far is he just doesn't want to be married to her anymore. It's been 1 year of marriage. They have a baby. She had to quit her job to take care of their son. He purchased their home before they were married, so it's technically his. He's keeping the house, and she has to move out with the baby, minus, I guess, when or if he wants any kind of shared custody. Lindsay and I have been in limited contact because her lawyers have told her she cannot discuss certain aspects of what's happening. I don't know why yet, but she told me after the papers are signed, she can tell me everything. She has shared that she's accepted a new job, found an apartment for herself and her son, and is just as surprised as the rest of us. I know with 100% certainty she is faithful, and as always only had eyes for Robbie. Both she and I have serious concerns about his mental health right now, though my husband does not. I asked my husband if he was worried that not even he saw this coming. Robbie and my husband talk every single day via text, usually about unimportant stuff like gym routines, a new video game, or a picture of food, not really deep and meaningful. Yet, he didn't see it coming at all. No prior mention of any issue with Lindsay, not even a hint that anything was amiss. And then this. I feel dramatic saying that I'm devastated, but I am. I feel like my family is being torn apart. I'm finding myself thinking very negative things about Robbie, blaming him for blowing everything up without even trying to work it out. No attempt at couples therapy, and no trying to fix things. He's hurting my friend, Lindsay. His son will never experience growing up with both parents together, and he's destroying this incredible thing the 5, including the baby, of us had. No more backyard birthday parties, no more group vacations, no more late nights playing board games and laughing till our sides hurt. No more adventures. At least not with them. Robbie was going to still go on the cruise with my husband and me, but that felt weird. I knew at any given moment either myself or Robbie would be the third wheel. I felt like I would be betraying Lindsay by going. Today, I finally reached out to Robbie to ask if we could cancel, and thankfully he agreed. We're far enough out that everyone will get a 100% refund. Oh, perfect. That was my concern.
Refunding is on trips is hard.
Yeah. Oh my God, especially cruises. They make it so hard. They're like, oops, sorry, you already paid $1 million.
You know, I've never been on a cruise.
Ah, what? Oh my God.
Yeah, me neither.
I've been on.
It's not just me, so I'm not.
I have not.
Guys, they're so fun.
But it's also like you're
Cruises are
trapped at
great.
sea on a boat with people who might get sick.
Yeah.
I love feeling
like
that.
me
Cruise?
who
A
might
poop
get
cruise?
sick.
Do we
Yeah.
forget the poop cruise?
No. But I'm still feeling selfishly sad and mad that we have to cancel. I was so excited, not just for the cruise, but to have a whole 6 days to chill, party, eat, and celebrate with our best friends and their son. I don't really have a question, and even if nobody reads this, it's still cathartic to write it all out. My feelings are scrambled. I feel sad and angry, surprised, helpless, deceived, protective of Lindsay, but also guilty for feeling any of this when I know her life just got blown up with the snap of a finger and the swipe of a pen. Robbie took away his and Lindsay's future together, but he also took away our future with them. He's changed how I look at him forever and ever and ever. I thought I knew him well, but he feels like a total stranger now. His entire demeanor about the situation is weirdly aloof, like he's not completely blowing his life up. The thought of having to spend time with him and some new girlfriend in the future makes me really mad. I feel like I'll lose Lindsay in this divorce before we ever had a real opportunity to build a friendship independent of our husbands. Any advice, please? And there's an update. The news broke today, and most of you called it affair.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
Matt was right.
I was first told it was a girl on Instagram whom he never met, but started an emotional affair with via text a few months ago. I have since been updated with the real story. She's a webcam, spicy sleep worker that he found and began a relationship with through her webcam job. He flew to Jamaica either yesterday or today to meet her for the first time, and he's there with her now at a resort until Saturday. She's from Colombia and doesn't speak English. He knows zero Spanish. They converse through translator apps. Stop. I didn't get any of this info from Lindsay. I received the news first from my husband via text message, then Robbie messaged me almost immediately afterwards, joking about how I sent her an Instagram request last week. I was suspicious of this account that had liked so many of his photos recently, and I told Robbie I figured if I sent her a request and I was wrong, she'd either ignore it or accept and not think about it. If I was right, she'd tell you and it would get back to my husband that I had probably figured it out. He found that funny, I guess. Look at OP like snooping, like, I have the plans here.
Mhm.
If he does this, then he's wrong. If they do this, then that's it, you know.
The bridge from planner to detective is very short.
Yes, for real. Robbie then told me that Lindsay has found out about her. Almost definitely what Lindsay was waiting to tell me after the divorce was finalized. But she thinks he's in another state in the USA right now, not Jamaica. I don't know if Lindsay knows that he's actually with his affair partner right now. I told him he needs to tell Lindsay because it's a terrible position to put me in. He said he'd tell her when he got back. Minutes after the text exchange with Robbie, I got a text from Robbie's sister. Uh-oh, now Sissy's
Why is
getting
the
involved.
sister involved?
I don't know. She and I are friendly and have gotten to know each other a bit over the years through family gatherings, baby showers, being bridesmaids together for the wedding last year, their dad's funeral, etc. She and I talked for almost an hour on the phone and continued texting even after that. I have been staying out of as much as I can, but apparently Robbie has confided in her more than anyone other than my husband. To maintain contact with him, she's delicately tiptoeing, trying to keep his secrets from the rest of the family so he won't cut her off. But she was sobbing and needed to talk to someone because she's so concerned about Robbie's mental health. She knows her brother, and this is wildly uncharacteristic of him. Due to their friendship, she assumed Robbie told my husband, who would then tell me everything she knew, so she would be breaking his confidence. Her assumption was basically correct, minus a few minor details that my husband found out about today, but hadn't yet texted me the info. I ended up on the phone with Robbie's sister while my husband texted me the same info as he was receiving it from Robbie. Clearly, Robbie talked to his sister and then immediately started telling my husband. Robbie told his sister and my husband that he's rented an apartment in Colombia and has decided yet again to sell the house. He's moving to Colombia with a girl he has met in person just one single time.
See, he doesn't have to tell her if he doesn't move back to America.
That's crazy, Robbie.
What does he also do that he's like buying and selling
Yeah.
houses at the drop of a hat?
He's like, don't want this one. Colombia! The girl ended up accepting my Instagram request today, so I was able to see her page and piece some additional stuff together. Most of her posts from the last 5 years are honestly pretty normal. A lot of pictures of her kids being cute, a lot of her with her husband, found out it's her current husband, not divorced, from when she was pregnant, and a few sexy poses in cute outfits. There's a year-long gap from August 2022 until this past August 15th without a single post. Same thing with her Facebook, a whole year just deleted. Well, either deleted or she abandoned the profile for a year. It's really fishy. I mentioned in a comment on my last post, but one relevant detail I forgot about was that Robbie's dad passed away this year on New Year's Day. He was going through a rough patch and had been staying with Robbie and Lindsay for about a month from before Thanksgiving through Christmas. Dad was supposed to go with his brother, Robbie's uncle, on December 23rd or 24th for the rest of the holidays in Robbie's hometown, about an hour away from where I live, and go see Robbie's sister for Christmas Eve, but he canceled on her. He ended up staying at Robbie and Lindsay's for Christmas, then went to his brother's a couple of days later. He passed away on January 1st. By the time they took him to the hospital, it was too late to do anything. Dad didn't think he was passing away. When he was staying with them, Robbie and Lindsay expressed their concerns about his health, but he told them that he was fine and he would live well into his 80s. I think he actually believed his own words and was genuinely surprised just before he passed away. Robbie never seemed too upset when his dad passed away, which was weird. We all assumed he was just being stoic and dealing with his grief in his own way, so we left it alone. Robbie's sister is absolutely as concerned as me and Lindsay about his mental health. And after I urged her to loop in their mom, who only knew he was getting a divorce and nothing beyond that, she did. Now their mom is going to be waiting for him at his house the day he gets back from Jamaica this Saturday for an intervention. By the way, you can listen to us in Jamaica if you'd like, with full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. Mom lives in my state. This isn't just a quick car ride. Even my husband has finally boarded the concern train. Woo woo! The rest of us have been on for days. My husband really believed Robbie's first version, that he just didn't want to be with Lindsay anymore and maybe wanted to experience the single life he never got to have when he was younger. He was disappointed in his friend, but not necessarily worried. But this is a whole other beast, and it sounds scary as heck. My husband knows that this is not who his best friend is. We all know this isn't him.
I mean, he technically wasn't lying when he said he didn't want to be with Lindsay anymore.
That, yeah,
It was
that
still
technically was not a lie.
technically true.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's just like a white lie, is that what they say? That's literally the end of that story.
My husband's family dislikes me, and it's breaking my marriage.
Well, you don't have to date your husband's family.
And there's a trigger warning for abuse. I, female 30s, am married to a man, male 30s, who unfortunately comes from a family that doesn't like me, or at least doesn't seem to want me around. And I'm starting to think this has been a huge factor in me considering divorce. I'd love to hear from others who've gone through something similar. By the way, this comes from user EnvironmentalTap838. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give some good advice goofily, right? Because we don't have all the answers to everything. We just know what we know. So let us know what you know, if you know it, in the comments. If you know it and you know it, clap your hands. Pow, pow. Okay. Here are some examples that really affected me. We've got bullet points. Inappropriate boundaries. My mother-in-law once asked my husband if we use protection. He shared parts of our spicy sleep life as she kept asking. He told me later since I wasn't around then. I was mortified. When I told him I felt violated, he said it's normal for him to talk about this with her, that I'm too closed on that with family and friends, and that they're like that. To be clear, I mean, if I don't know what exactly was discussed, but just being like, are you using protection isn't like the craziest thing to ask.
Right. But if they're like, what positions are you guys in? That's a little, we don't need to share that with family.
So that's a little, I think we can leave that one off the table. Passive-aggressive jokes. She said foreigners like me always take things.
Now we've got race in the mix here.
Example was me, because I stole her son. Okay. My husband laughed when he told me. Again, she said it when I wasn't around. Dismissive comments about my interests. She mocked my love of books, you guessed it, when I wasn't there, calling it an obsession, even though my husband knows that's a sensitive subject for me. Instead of backing me up, he accused me of being resentful. Weird emotional competitions. Before our wedding, she told me flat out she'll always love him more than I ever could.
Oh, God.
And said it seriously, not as a joke. No one at the table said anything, not even my husband.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's just uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, but with all of these examples, I have a feeling that we have a bit of a husband problem here.
I could be I smell that on the horizon.
Smells stinky.
Constant emotional dumping. She regularly calls, crying and venting even when he's overwhelmed with grief after his father's passing. She never seeks therapy and expects him to be her emotional support system. There's unhealthy family dynamics. My husband's extended family uses his car without asking, damages it, and then laughs it off. One aunt even drove against traffic. He says nothing, even if she was very upset. Yet if I make a small mistake, he corrects me immediately and harshly. They reject my cooking. Whenever I cook at my mother-in-law's house, suddenly more people show up every time, but no one eats what I cook.
Oh.
He says they're just picky, but even the vegetarian aunt refused to try the salad I made for her. That's weird. The culture. Very recently, I've noticed no man in his family, mother-in-laws, brothers, and nephews, is still married. It's a very matriarchal family where the women form a tight circle and I'm left out. I often sit alone during gatherings while they whisper in the kitchen. Some of them don't even refer to me by name, and there is resentment and subtle digs. I get the feeling his mom resents me not just for taking her son, but for being different. They've started making xenophobic comments lately, and I'm an immigrant, so it's hard not to take that personally. Lately, all of the extended family are shifting towards radical right discourses against people like me. And yet my husband defends them constantly. Gone.
Oh, gosh.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yeah.
We leave.
Yeah, this really does sound like just everyone is a problem in this family, especially even your husband. Like, it's not even just that you're with your husband, you love him, and you just can't get along with his family, unfortunately. Like, he is right there with him, it sounds like.
Yeah, he is keeping pace.
Yeah.
He says there's no bad intentions and that his mom is just being herself, and I'm too sensitive.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, my mom's just being herself. She does not like people who look like you.
Yeah. You are the one that has a problem with it, so you gotta figure that out.
Babe, they have this thing called plastic surgery. If Michael Jackson did it, you can do it.
Right. You want to look like Michael Jackson, don't you?
Yes, He minimizes my feelings and seems more concerned about their well-being and not upsetting them than how I feel. I'm starting to feel invisible, like I walked into a family where I'll never be truly welcomed. And even though I love my husband, I'm wondering if this is sustainable. Christmas is coming, and I honestly don't want to spend another one there. I'm thinking about telling him about divorce before those dates. Has anyone else felt pushed out by their partner's family to this extent? Did it affect your marriage long term? Would appreciate any honest insights. And we do have some comments from OP's post here. But like, I haven't been in this marriage. I would imagine that mostly the effect of a marriage long term would be that it ceases to exist in this context.
Hopefully, I don't know this, but hopefully hopefully she didn't move to be closer to this family if they're treating her like this. Because at that point, it's like, if you're just being closer to strangers, even if you're not moving with them, but if you're just showing up for holidays like she is, like,
Yeah.
if they suck and are not being cool to you, then like your husband is like your one connection to that whole family. So you would hope that he's like your lifeline,
Right.
and is like there to keep you safe when they're being super uncool like this. But
and he's
it
just
seems,
yeah, he's just fully like, but you should just not care.
yeah,
You should just not worry.
it's like, oh, my lifeline is floating away. Oh no.
Yeah, and honestly, that was hilarious what she said.
Yeah, like honestly, she had a good point. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. So I don't know. You might have to like learn how to swim for yourself and then swim away from these people.
Yeah,
everyone here.
You might need to swim away. Comment 1, I don't even know how you get to the point of marrying someone like this. OP says, we were long distance. During the pandemic, we visited each other, but wouldn't see the extended family often. Then we got married to be together. Before marriage, I thought his parents were very loving to me. The only incidents I had were with his dad, and my husband would defend me. Hence, I thought it would be like that with everyone else. The only incident with my mother-in-law before marriage was her comment about loving him more than me. I found it very weird, but thought it wasn't a big deal compared to how nice she was. After my father-in-law's passing, the situations I've mentioned dramatically increased. I've been vocal about how disrespected I feel, but he keeps being on her side and all of the women in the family. And has OP considered counseling or therapy for herself and her husband? OP says, I've mentioned individual and couples therapy, especially since his dad's passing, and he refuses both. Individual, he says he already knows what he needs to work on. And for couples, he says if we go, then it's a sign the relationship is over. So silly. It's like if you broke a finger and then you told the doctor, just cut the hand off. Just cut it off. No, if your finger's broken, the whole hand's broken, cut it off.
It's useless. Go ahead. Yeah.
Comment 2, here's the thing. It's not the family that's causing the divorce, it's your husband. He's allowing this to go on and is not standing up for you. Plenty of marriages work out when in-laws don't like a spouse, but it's up to your husband. He needs to grow up. The family you create has to be more important than your family of origin. If he doesn't love you enough to prioritize you and your feelings, then it's best to cut bait and run. He'll never be able to have a healthy relationship as long as he lets his family act this way without any consequences. There's someone out there who will put you first. It sounds like it's not him. I'm so sorry. OP replies, I've spoken about how I feel about this. He says, of course he's on my side because he chose to come to the other side of the world for me. I recognize and value that, but whenever we visit his family and we try to go for months at a time because we're lucky to do remote work, this happens often. It saddens me to hear my mother-in-law start speaking about me like this. It didn't happen before our marriage, or I wouldn't have married him. I feel very alone, and he doesn't see how it's wrong. I feel I shouldn't even say it. He should defend me whenever hearing these things. And has OP's husband put any boundaries up with his mother? OP says, the only time I ever saw him put a boundary on his mom was when she went to kiss his neck. There, he did stop her and asked her not to do that again because it was not a thing he'd associate with her, and she got offended. I don't know if he doesn't want to place any boundaries ever since his dad passed. Still, I've spoken about it, and I doubt it will change. There's always justifications. Comment 3, your mother-in-law is disgusting, but your husband is worse. Divorce him because of his actions and inactions. Mother-in-laws are almost always just like her. If their son doesn't shut them down, the sons, are the primary problem. My mother-in-law once asked the spicy sleep questions while talking to my husband on speakerphone. He told her to mind her business and don't ask about his personal life in that manner. She kept pushing, and then he told her if he really wanted answers, he would let me respond since I was listening to all of her questions on speakerphone. She embarrassingly hung up. She later accused him of setting her up for me to dislike her. He asked her if he was the one who planted those questions in her head. OP replies, I would have loved for that to happen here, but he insists it's normal. I told him the issue is he's not just speaking about him, it's our spicy life, both of us, and I was never asked if I wanted to share that. He knows I'm very private and still didn't care for it. He said it was just because she wanted to help because they were discussing if we would have babies. Again, he knows that's a sensitive issue because it's very likely we have fertility issues. And we had agreed the only answer, if people were asking, would be we're open to it, but if it doesn't happen, we are also fine. I think that's enough explanation, yet she went further to ask whether we used protection or not or what we were doing. I felt...
Okay.
So
yeah.
That's funny that it's like, oh, we want to try to have kids. And she's like, are you using protection? Because if you do that, it makes it not work.
Right. She's like, okay, well, like, how hard are you trying to have kids? Which I can understand. I mean, that seems like it's understandable if it makes someone uncomfortable, but that could genuinely just be a difference in family dynamics and cultures or something. Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't have much of a problem with a conversation like that, but I understand why someone would.
Yeah, but if it's about, like, babies.
Yeah.
that's one thing. But if it was like, dude, you won't believe what she did the other day, like that's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, that would be too much.
OP on her husband having potential childhood trauma that led to this behavior in the family. OP says, I do believe his childhood was hard. He keeps mentioning how as a firstborn son and grandkid, etc., people always expected excellence from him with very high standards, sometimes unachievable. His parents knew what they wanted for his life, and it did not end up looking like that. He wanted to study something, but his parents suggested to study something else because that way they wouldn't pay rent. He could live in his city, and it would be better like that. And he agreed. There's so many things I connect now that I never did. OP on an incident with her husband from her side of the family. OP says, you know what's sad? We had an incident where he really disliked my cousin's boyfriend because he said he was secretly interested in me. Once at a party, my cousin's partner wanted us to join the dancing circle and grabbed me, causing my husband to run away, fuming. Well, buddy, that's not how you do that.
What?
It's like, someone's dancing with my wife?
Yeah.
I'm going to run away in a huff.
I'm gonna leave.
We had to leave the wedding. And I did speak with the guy asking to respect me, my body, and my relationship. I did it immediately. And it hurts. He doesn't do the same.
Oh.
Yet he did say if I hadn't done it, he would have divorced me.
Wait, what?
We're in divorce central, dude.
I'm gonna divorce you for dancing with some guy at a wedding.
Some guy who was your cousin's boyfriend.
Oh gosh.
So it's not like it was just like a single dude who's like, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to dance with you now at this wedding.
Yeah.
It was like, no.
Because there's always that one person at a wedding that's like in the dance circle, just grabbing everyone, doing a little spin. Okay, and then on to the next, and just like getting dancing going. This is probably just that kind of guy.
It's a party.
It's a party. Just chill out. You don't need to get divorced. Oh my god.
And if you hadn't told him that was wrong, I would have divorced you.
Yeah.
Man, I would have been gone that night.
Like, all right, then just divorce me anyway.
OP on her mother-in-law's wants for her husband to be married to someone from his country. OP says, that's how I feel. That my mother-in-law wants someone from his own country that he's always reachable physically and time zone-wise. Many times his mom worries transpire to him and he gets cranky and starts talking badly about my country and the people here and his job. Whenever he's tried to look for better jobs in his country, he only finds jobs below what he earns here. Lately, he is very money-focused, not for us, but just to help his mom. That's why he's leaving there in a few weeks. It will give me space to think about what to do.
Oh boy.
And there's an update from a month and a half later.
Whoa.
I think this is a very leavable man.
Yeah.
Update. Month and a half later. When I last posted, my husband was about to leave for his country for 6 months to his mother's house specifically to heal, in his words. I thought distance might help us both deal with this better and that I would wait to see him in person to address our divorce. But what happened before and after his trip made everything painfully clear. One afternoon before he left, my parents asked if we wanted to go out for lunch. He had just taken a shower, and when I asked if he wanted us to join them, he got angry. See, I knew this would happen. He insisted that if he showered, then he wouldn't get out of the house. He has many rules like that. Says, I only leave the house if I'm a stinky, gross mess.
Yeah. Like, okay. I mean, yeah.
Once I shower, I am in the house until my stink returns.
Oh, it's so weird.
He said it was very rude of me to ask because it meant I wanted to go, and then he had to go. It escalated into an argument about how I was cold and selfish. I tried not to fuel any argument, and that was also a problem. He called me totally apathetic and said I didn't care anymore.
See, the rules just keep changing. Goalposts are being moved, and there's nothing that you can do right. Like,
Just
you just
lazy.
can't. You can't do anything right.
He's starting a fight, and you're like, I'm just not going to fight. And he goes, see, you don't even care.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that, like, kind of unpredictable stuff that it makes it so, like, unsafe in a relationship. Because it's like, I can't even I don't know how to think or how to be because you don't just say everything's wrong.
Yeah.
And you're saying I'm a bad person because of it.
It's your husband needs to be your ex-husband.
Yeah, I think.
We had another talk about his family before his flight. I told him I felt uncomfortable when they crossed lines and that I needed him to stand up for me. His answer was, "Of course I'll back you up. We'll just discuss it privately after it happens." That's not what standing up for someone.
That's not at all.
That is when I confirmed one last time he wasn't planning to defend me at all, just to avoid upsetting them. When he left, he refused to let me drive him to the airport because it would make things harder. I stayed home, realizing the real goodbye had already happened days before. After arriving, he said his mom saw him at the airport looking tired and joked, "From your wife?"
Gosh.
He told me that story like it was funny, but it wasn't. That summed up our marriage perfectly. During his first week in the country, we barely spoke. Then, out of nowhere, his mother, who hadn't texted me in years unless it was something about her son, messaged me. She wrote that she hoped I was doing well, that they were all trying to move forward despite how bad things were, and that she enjoyed having me there with her son.
What?
It caught me off guard. I knew she meant it to sound kind, but it felt performative, like she was trying to keep me emotionally connected to him through her, or like a message saying, "We're already going through a lot, so you better not make it worse." I didn't reply. It was the first time I realized how blurred the boundaries in that family really were. That night, he complained about me being cold and rude. Even when he's somewhere else now, he's in a different country, and he's still like, "You're cold
Yeah.
and rude."
It's like I've just been feeling really distant from you recently. And it's like, yeah, you got on a plane and you left. Like, yeah.
I said I asked to speak to him that week, but he said he was busy, so we could speak the next day since it was the weekend. He said no, it had to be now. I asked for him to respect me wanting to speak the next day. Then he flooded me with texts and calls saying, "I respect your boundaries," followed by, "I need you now, pick up, I'd never do this to you, I won't sleep."
Oh, man.
The next day, when I asked for a divorce, it was a tough call. He was refusing, saying he'd change. I asked him to respect my decision, and the call ended abruptly.
Wow.
Then he sent me a long emotional letter full of guilt and self-pity, saying I'd treated him like trash, and that I'd controlled everything, and that I hadn't given him a chance to change.
Oh, my God.
You know, my thing is, if someone is treating you so terribly and is so awful and controlling, why are you now going to change, Mr. Husband? Or are you just trying to make her
Yeah.
feel like she's wrong?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, if you're complaining about not having a chance to change, like, did you... It's just like you had the whole relationship. If you knew that this was a problem, and maybe you didn't, maybe now you're finding out because now she's leaving you, and you didn't realize that you were a problem before, like, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, you don't need a chance. You should just be different. That's the point. It's like, if you don't see that you're acting like this, and then this is all a problem, then, like, that's why I'm leaving. I don't need to give you a chance to change.
And it sounds like she's giving you a bajillion chances.
Yeah.
Like every time she's been like, "Hey, can you please not let your family just insult and demean me
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
when you're around them without checking them?" And he's like, "Well, no, I can't
Exactly.
do that at all.
That's the time to change, my guy.
I can just come back and then tell you about it and be like, isn't that funny? Aren't
Right.
they so funny,
Like,
by the way?"
You're just too sensitive.
Yeah.
God.
He said that he went to his country to change and be better, and I disposed of
Oh
him.
my God. Cry me a river.
The next day, he said he understood and respected my decision, but that he wanted therapy to change and rebuild things. He said he had set boundaries with his family and be positive and support me, and I wanted to believe him. For 2 days, I did. And then he told me his brother-in-law had said, "Oh, so now we don't have to hate her anymore? And
What?
after hearing it, we might try again." What does that mean? So is he the one feeding all of the hate to his family about you?
He must be. He must be. Like, if the mom is saying, like, "Oh, are you so tired from your wife again?" Like, he's probably complaining about all of this stuff to them, and that's why they have a problem with her. Like, that's the
Yum.
most likely situation here. They wouldn't just make things up all of a sudden.
Yeah, freaking just ugh. Of course, he justified this as just a joke. Despite me telling him that was not funny, he justified it. During our talks, he also told me he was upset because I never replied to his mom's message. I never told him about that message, so I guess it was absolutely performative on her behalf. The following day, he started blaming my parents, saying that for our marriage to work, I should stop visiting them so much, stop going to their city, which we don't even really go to that often unless I have to work, and that we should balance family events evenly between his and mine. His family lives on another continent, by the way. When I mentioned that we should start making friends in the city we live in, he said it wasn't necessary because we had each other. That's when I realized he didn't want balance. He wanted control. And with those rules, I'd be even more isolated. So I asked for space and not to play games, but to stop the cycle of we divorce, we reconcile, we fight. We were supposed to text every morning just to let the other know we were well. One day he stopped texting, even if I did, so I gave him space. Yesterday was our anniversary, and he said nothing. No good morning, no message, and I didn't reach out either. I wanted to respect the silence we both seemed to need, and to be fair, I didn't see anything to celebrate. Then today, he sent a long message full of guilt, apologies, and emotional weight, and immediately after, he blocked me. Good.
Oh, God.
Good, I like that.
Yeah. Let's keep it that way.
Somehow, that silence feels like closure already. Because I finally understand that love isn't enough when the relationship requires you to shrink just to keep the peace. It was not just his family. I've discovered through therapy and chats with friends and self-reflecting that there were a lot of other things going on here. And by the way, someone told me after I broke the news that they always felt something weird going on. A day before our wedding, this friend saw my mother-in-law crying, and she asked if she was okay. My mother-in-law said, "It's just that my son is in love."
What? And now you're figuring that out?
When my friend looked where mother-in-law was looking, she was watching us kiss. I felt very disgusted about this. I also discovered it was his mom who picked my engagement ring. And by the way, you can pick from a huge selection of full episodes with stories just like this to listen to whenever you want on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to podcasts. All you got to do is search OK Storytime. And we've got a little more story left here. Yeah. You've got a husband problem, and your husband's problems all seem to come from his mom.
Yeah. And you do not need to be there while he figures that out.
Yeah, he can go to therapy and grow and change, and you know, if he keeps like sending you all those like emotional like text bombs, you just be like, "Hey, it sounds like you're going through a lot. I hope you go through it, and I hope you change and become a better person. We're gonna do it separately. Bye.
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 We're gonna be growing separately from now on for the rest of our lives."
Yeah.
Anyway, I may never recover my books and my things since he's blocked me. No, we get our things back. But luckily, I have a list of all of them, and hopefully, little by little, I can recover them. It's better than what would have happened if I went there. In December, I'll go with one of my best friends on the trip that I had planned. I'm very excited for that. It's not the amicable ending I wanted, but I for sure have peace and time to know myself again.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we like to hear.
Thanks for your kind words of advice, everyone. And that is the end of that story.
All right.
We got the good ending.
We got there, guys.
We did it.
Everything's okay.
Yes.
Wow.
My best friend needs to break up with her boyfriend because I've had enough.
You're not dating him.
So for context, I, 28 female, have known my friend, 26 male, let's call him Alex, for about a year now. We spent a lot of time together and he considers me his best friend. I did too, but now I'm conflicted, and it's mostly because of his girlfriend, 25 female. They have been together for a few years now, and over the time I've known them, I've seen more and more of their relationship's flaws. By the way, this comes from user throwaway835, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. Probably. Maybe. but we don't know everything. We only know like what we know. So if you would do something different, just tell us in the comments. And OP says, almost off the bat, his girlfriend didn't like me, stating that she thinks he's cheating on her with me.
I wonder why.
OP does say, I'm happily married. So
Okay.
no, I'm not interested in Alex. Alex has said that he's not interested in me either, but his girlfriend wouldn't drop it. Eventually, those accusations went away and things were okay for a few months. But then I noticed the way they treated each other. They fought all the time, and I couldn't be around them without them making backhanded comments to each other and talking to each other with a lot of attitude. Even full-on fights occurred where I couldn't even tell who was right or wrong because they were so bad at communicating. Every time it would just be me and Alex hanging out. He would complain about her, and eventually I got tired of it. I told Alex how I felt, that they are a toxic couple and that they need to communicate or else there isn't a point to the relationship anymore. I do think he was listening to me because I could see his behavior change, but not hers. One day their fights got so bad that she said she had called the cops on both of us, accusing us of doing illegal activities.
What?
I'm starting to see now why you really don't like this person. We were obviously freaking out to the point that Alex started to cry, desperately trying to talk to his girlfriend. Eventually, we got her to answer and admit she didn't actually call the cops, but said she did to get her boyfriend's attention. When being confronted on how that wasn't okay, I was called a witch and then blocked on everything. Alex is on my side and eventually got his girlfriend to apologize. I accepted it because I didn't want to cause more drama. Here's where I was called an a-hole. Not even a week goes by, and they have another argument in front of me. I put my foot down saying I can't handle their behavior anymore and not to invite me to things if they were going to fight and to fix their issues or break up because I couldn't handle dealing with it. The girlfriend got extremely mad and basically told me to F off, saying she never wanted to apologize. I know it's not my monkeys, not my circus, but if the monkeys come running to me and make me their ringmaster, they can't get upset if I run the show. Weeks go by and Alex and I had a talk where I said that I can't be a part of their business anymore. To be honest, he hasn't really respected that. I still see his girlfriend occasionally and she just pretends like nothing happened. By the way, she still has me blocked. Am I really the a-hole here?
I don't think you're the a-hole, but I do think it's time to just like remove yourself from the situation.
Yeah, there's no like wrangling this. You can't. You're not going to solve it. You really just need to tell Alex.
Which
like,
it sounds
why
like
are
she
you dating this
has.
person?
Yeah.
Just like really take a catalog of all of the good and the bad. I don't know how much good there could be to outweigh like threatening to call the police on you.
Right.
Comment one says you're the a-hole to yourself. Do not hang with her and keep reminding Alex that your time with him is girlfriend-free, including talking about her. You are obviously not wrong, but people stuck in a volatile codependency can only help themselves when ready. Try to get your friend into therapy so maybe he can become wise enough and strong enough to get out. OP replies, I have suggested therapy to him, and he said he used to go, but his mom convinced him he didn't need it. And his girlfriend once told me they used to go to couples counseling and he never let her talk. So yikes. And I don't believe that.
The therapist is there to make sure everyone can talk.
OP responds to a long comment, clarifying her relationship with Alex as a best friend while she's married and he's dating. OP says, okay, I understand your comment better now. Here is some more context. Alex has told me that since they've been together, his girlfriend has basically convinced him all his friends are toxic and he should cut them off. I overheard him basically begging her to not ask him to cut me off. Also, he's been with both men and women, so have I, and I use the term best friend because, unprompted, he asked me one day, you're my best friend, right?
Do I have to ask? Should I call up my friend right now and be like, hey, we're still best friends, right?
Hey, we're besties, right? You know that we're besties, right? I think Alex is so desperate for any form of attention because he's isolated himself for her. I use this label because he used it. Maybe it's a bit immature. I mean, he is pretty immature. Not a big deal, but for example, he makes fun of me for using more articulate language instead of slang, so I don't know. Also, he has cheated on her in the past.
Ah!
What?
You left that part out!
Oh my god!
Now he's the stinky man!
Both of them are stinky and
They're
should just
both
be
stinky.
not together.
What? Why?
I mean, if honestly, ugh.
It wasn't with you, right?
No, no. There's an update. This is 2 weeks later. Alex ghosted me for 2 weeks. I kept asking to talk out what happened, but he just wouldn't respond. Then I got a message saying we should talk. I agreed, and Alex decided that we would go for a drive. I had no complaints, so we did. He started by saying that he's completely on my side and that he doesn't think what she did and said was okay, but she's just like that.
What the heck is happening?
Yeah, she's just like that, and I signed the eternal contract in my
Yeah.
blood that says that there's nothing I can do about it except stay with her forever.
Maybe he sold his soul. We don't know.
Maybe he sold it to her.
That's what I'm saying.
Ay, ay, ay.
He is contractually obligated, actually.
Oh, brother. I said that if we were to remain friends, then I don't want to hear about his girlfriend anymore, and I don't want to see her anymore. If she can't be a decent human being, then I don't want to be around her. He agreed. We had some fun. Then I went home. For context, they both work, but only have one car, so Alex drives her to and from work. When we hang out, we made a rule that if we had to pick her up, he would drop me off at home first so that we didn't have to see each other. Not even a week later, we were hanging out of town. She was getting off work soon, and he said that we were going to go pick her up. I asked to take me home first, and he said no. I was stunned and reiterated, "Take me home," to which he again said no, that it would be out of his way and he didn't want his girlfriend to get mad at him. Also, context, I've been there multiple times to pick her up before, and if he was late, she would rip him a new one, but also vice versa. He would yell at her if she was late coming out of work, which she usually was, by 30 minutes to hours. I said exactly that she would probably be late so he could drop me off. He said no, and that I was being disrespectful to the driver and that the driver decides where the car goes, and I shouldn't complain. At that point, I was genuinely scared. I told him if he didn't take me home now, I won't talk to him again, to which he said I was overreacting, and you're really going to blow this friendship up because of something this stupid? We continued to argue until I just sat in the passenger seat silent. Then he had the audacity to run an errand before picking her up. I called him out on it, saying, "You have time to run an errand, but you don't have time to take me home?" And he straight up said, "Yeah." I would have gotten out of the car right there in the parking lot.
Yeah, why didn't we get out at the errand? That's my stop. I live here now.
Yeah, I'm going to live in the parking lot.
Someone will get me.
I bit my tongue and we got to the girlfriend's work.
Wow.
20 minutes go by and I asked again for him to take me home. He still says no. 40 minutes go by and I said, "I guess you could have taken me home." And he said, "You don't have to be petty." An hour goes by and she finally comes out of work. I'm waiting for him to yell at her and nothing. He's quiet. And when he does talk, he's trying to get his girlfriend to have small talk with me. Oh, gross. That was his whole point, was he was trying to make
Yeah.
you guys friends again?
Yeah.
Ugh! I'm quiet on the way home. I get out of the car, slam the door, and cut him off from saying bye in a sing-song friendly voice. I'm so done with him. And there's an edit. I wanted to add some extra info. I met Alex through a mutual friend. Alex is no longer friends with them. I met my husband shortly after, and we are newlyweds, but that doesn't make him any less my husband. I do not have a crush on Alex. For the love of God, can people stop assuming that? Alex, his girlfriend, and my husband and I are in the queer community, so none of us give a crap about gender in friendship. I may be in the wrong for doing this, but I changed the gender of the people in this story to be straight because I didn't want to hear bad comments and thought it would be safer. Okay,
I think that was a bad call on your part.
kind of a bad call, but whatever. People are assuming things based on that. I am a man who likes men, married to my husband.
Oh, OP's a man.
OP is a man. Alex is sapphic with a girlfriend and has been with men but cheated on girlfriend with a woman. There are no feelings between me and Alex. Also, for people thinking I'd randomly tell a friend and their girlfriend off, if I see nasty behavior, I'm going to look out for myself. Alex specifically asked me what he should do, so I did what he wanted. Alex and I would hang out at night 99% of the time because the girlfriend worked at night. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever asked Alex to hang out. Almost every other day, I'd get a text from Alex asking if I was available to hang out, and we often drove out of town. Another reason I changed the gender is because I thought people would take the situation seriously if Alex was a girl, and I was right. People are not taking me seriously because they think I am. I'm not taking you seriously because you're a liar. You're a little fibber.
Yeah, I think I would have had way different opinions on this story had you just said right out, hey, I'm literally not attracted to Alex, and it's like not possible for me to be attracted to Alex like that.
I think what you should do is just entirely remove yourself from this whole mess. For those of you asking, where is your husband? First, I don't need to do everything with my husband. Second of all, it was at night and he has work in the morning. Literally, someone said I should spend less time with a male friend and focus more on my husband. I'm sorry, my husband has nothing to do with this story. I only brought him up so people didn't assume I had feelings for Alex. Apparently, my word that I love my husband isn't good enough. I'm not going to reply to any more comments. But you can listen to a bunch more full episodes with stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you've got the whole shebang. But we got a little bit of shebang left here. We got one more update. It's time to call it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You've now just confused everybody and leave.
Extract yourself from your friend's messy relationship, and your friend is being weird with you too. Like, I would not appreciate being forced to try to reconcile with someone I want nothing to do with.
Oh yeah, not at all. I would have gotten out at the errand.
Yeah. There's the second update. 6 days later, OP has attached screenshots of text messages, but here's a transcript of it. OP says, I've been wanting to break off this friendship for a while now. I've been dealing with your BS and I can't take it anymore. You complain about your girlfriend to me, and when I give you advice, you don't take it. Your behavior is disgustingly disrespectful, and I've had my last straw. I've been there for you for months, and I've never felt like I could actually confide in you. You've crossed my boundaries for the last time. You've made fun of me, and you don't actually care about my feelings. Or you do, and you can't be emotionally mature and show that you care. And you literally held me hostage in your car and wouldn't take me home when I asked. That is not okay. And you were so petty that you couldn't just take me home and made me wait an hour. Not to mention, you apparently had time to go to the bank before picking them up, but not take me home. I don't know what your deal is with not taking people home, because you did the same with our other friend. In the end, you've pushed me away, and your girlfriend hasn't helped much. They've shown exactly how they feel about me, and how you've handled the situation makes me sick. I've given you both so many chances to be the bigger person, and you both act like children. So I hope you're happy with the life you've chosen to live. I hope that when you've grown and realized I'm right, that you'll reach out, but I doubt you will. So I hope you educate yourself. And I know girlfriend is probably reading this first because you two have no boundaries, and I'm not going to let you try and fix this again by ignoring my feelings and trying to bribe me or some crap. Neither of you are good people, and I don't want to surround myself with people who make me feel this bad. I know you'll miss me because you obviously had more fun with me than you ever did with them, so I'm going to have fun being married at the place we moved with the love of my life while you're stuck with a girlfriend with girlfriend issues. Alex replies, first of all, thank you for effing waking me up. I actually have a job. Second, I don't complain about my girlfriend. I complain about their family, which is completely different. And yeah, good luck with getting married when you're unemployed and could definitely not hold down a job because all you ever do is complain about the stupidest crap. You're just like friend. Also, cry to your husband because you're not going far in life, which would be soon, because all you do is complain, which is insane. You always think you're right. Hi, OP's dumb boyfriend, by the way, because you're also going to send this to him being like, oh my God, look what Alex said about you. Also, what the F is wrong with you guys getting married right now with cheap rings? And you know it's not going to last unless he's going to be held hostage. Whatever. And you know I'm right because you're upset over me actually not agreeing with you for once. Shaking my head.
Wow, y'all just really hate each other.
Yeah, that sounds like you guys weren't friends at all.
No, but Dakota, they
pretended.
They asked if they were best friends, remember?
And they went,
They were best
yeah,
friends."
I guess we are. That's great.
My resentment for my husband has built up, and now I want a divorce.
It's exploding like a divorce volcano.
My husband and I had a difficult pregnancy that resulted in complications requiring a blood transfusion and emergency surgery. Ooh, this left me with terrible PTSD and depression. We went on to have a healthy baby girl and then a healthy baby boy. After our second healthy baby, they said to not get pregnant again due to complications at birth and horrific kidney stones causing preterm labor. By the way, this comes from user WorkinMama5. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
And I'm Angie.
And OP says, long story short, my husband decides to not get a vasectomy. So I request surgery to remove my tubes. Well, I get pregnant while waiting for surgery, and he encouraged me to consider not continuing the pregnancy because of health concerns, but also because how will we ride Disney rides as a family of 5? We are not teenagers. We own a home, we have 2 healthy kids, and 2 well-paying jobs. But this third pregnancy didn't fit our lifestyle plans. After much back and forth, he eventually became supportive of the baby. Go figure. My issue is, how, as a husband and protector, do you watch your wife go through difficult pregnancy complications, suffer through mental health impacts, and then initially not support her when she needs you most because you are too selfish to do a 15-minute procedure? Fast forward, my water breaks 6.5 weeks early. I'm in the hospital trying to keep the baby in, and I get a call that my sister tragically was unalived in a motorcycle accident. I truly can't make this stuff up. I am the only one in my family with the means to take care of things. So from the hospital bed, I arranged her cremation and ordered urns for my family and nieces. My husband thought this was not my responsibility and that I shouldn't be paying for it. Not, how do I help you? Not, give me the phone to call the funeral home, etc. The concern was money. Now the baby is here and my kids go to my mother-in-law's daycare where safety has always been an issue. Blankets in the crib with my firstborn, taking my 3-month-old to the beach without telling me and forgetting her bottle. The list goes on and on. The most major and recent incident was with my preemie at 9 months old, 7 months adjusted. They brought him upstairs so that he wasn't left downstairs with the toddlers while the daycare worker went to the bathroom. Yes, leaving a bunch of kids with 0 eyes on them. Forgetting that he started to crawl, she shut the bathroom door and he fell all the way down the basement stairs and smacked his face on a printer. They did not call 911 or anything. They tried to play it off like he just slid down on his belly. Because I had to take him to the hospital for evaluation, a report was filed with the state. Good. It then came to light that my mother-in-law lied and they called me saying that it was a family matter and accused me of false reporting. She claimed there were no injuries, but the hospital took pictures and I had them too. I pulled my littlest from my mother-in-law's daycare, but had to keep my middle child there because of passive aggressiveness from my husband related to the cost of the other daycare. Once my littlest got bigger, we put him back at my mother-in-law's home daycare against my better judgment, but with hope to fix my marriage. Stupid, in hindsight. Over a year later, and she is still putting my kids in danger. I walked into the backyard, and my 2-year-old is up on the platform part of the playground. There are huge drops all around, and my mother-in-law was on her deck way too far to intervene if an accident was going to happen. My 2-year-old also bit a baby badly because they are left downstairs alone with my mother-in-law when she's making meals. They have cameras, but she never watches them. My husband never stands up for my kids' safety. Even with a marriage counselor telling him they need to be moved, no actual action has been taken to do so. On top of that, up until I said divorce, my husband was not helping me the way I want my husband to help me. I have to remember to order the home heating fuel, buy the salt for our water softener system, and lug the 40-pound bags in without his help. I take care of my vehicle and have to urge him to take care of his. He will do it if I ask him to do it, but I am tired. I want to be taken care of and for my kids to be protected. I have an appointment with a lawyer on Monday. I have no clue how to feel. This is a horrible, horrible experience. After a decade of being the husband, I am contemplating a divorce. There's a whole long list of issues within our marriage, but these are the major events that continue to snowball. I am the breadwinner 2 times over. I have everyone on my health insurance, and I work a mentally demanding full-time job. I want to say my husband is a good person and a wonderful father, but I do not think he is the husband I want to be married to for the rest of my life. Any advice would be appreciated, and we have some comments. Angie.
Holy crap, dude. Divorce volcano. For sure, man. It is booming off. There's lava just running straight, chasing after the husband.
Pompeii is right there.
Yeah. Oh,
Vesuvius
my goodness.
has erupted.
Yes. Get out of there. And I'm so glad that she is. So glad that she's going to a lawyer. This stuff is insane. So insane that he's not caring about the safety of their children. 9 months old and falling down an entire staircase and
just
smacking his
smacking-
head on his printer?
The fact that he's so nonchalant about his mother-in-law's daycare. This doesn't sound like a daycare,
Yeah.
by the way. This sounds like just like I don't even know.
Yeah, it sounds like a haunted house.
Like
It sounds like a haunted house version of a daycare where you would walk through and there's things swinging from the walls and there's like things dropping. There's creaky staircases.
It's like a ninja warrior course for babies. and
Literally.
what? Like this is not
my
fair.
gosh.
This is terrible. We have some comments. Comment number 1. Obviously not the a-hole. Honestly, it sounds like you've been carrying way too much on your own for years. Your husband not stepping up and letting your mother-in-law put your kids in danger is serious. Wanting a partner who actually helps and protects your family is totally reasonable. Seeing a lawyer and making plans for your safety and your kids is the right move. We have a reply. This post is essentially showcasing that you have bad decision-making skills. You know how children are made. Oops, I did it again with pregnancy. Should be reserved for teenagers, not adult married couples. You insisted on having a 3rd child with a man who hasn't always been a good partner/husband or a good father. Yet you keep referring to him for important choices that literally put your kids in danger. None of your children had to go to the mother-in-law's daycare. If you claim you have a good paying job, then find a daycare that doesn't put their lives in danger regardless of what your husband says or how your mother-in-law feels about it. You keep blaming him while you're equally responsible for your children's well-being. Now you're crowdsourcing internet strangers' input on whether to get a divorce or not. Sort this out with your therapist. Comment number 2. You've got a lot going on, and I feel bad saying this, but if you haven't removed your children from a dangerous situation, you are contributing to it, even if it is your mother-in-law's daycare and your husband is pushing that you use it. My read on your post is that everything just keeps moving, so you are allowing things to happen to you. But those things have major implications on your life and, more significantly, your children's lives. You might want to take some time to find a new situation for your kids so they are safe. And comment number 3. Why aren't you reporting your mother-in-law's illegal daycare to the state? There are standards for these facilities. What happens when she seriously injures or, hopefully not, but unalives a child? OP replies, oh, she has been, and she was getting shut down constantly. Until the state just licensed her again. It's so sad. It's a corrupt system. And there's a reply. But you're still sending your children there.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Because, yeah, it is true. She should, I think it's good to bring that stuff up in, not a like, oh, for shame, you are doing this to your children, but in a way of like, you can do something, like, you have power here.
You do have power.
I want you to know that.
You have the free will.
Yeah.
You don't need your husband's okay. You don't need anyone else's, like, you can do that. You are allowed to just be like, no.
Exactly.
Comment number 4. Can you explain to us why you think you might be an a-hole? Do you think that divorce is never justified? Do you think that you don't have a good enough case? OP says, yes. All of the above, because he is a good dad. I haven't seen that. He does love me and wants to make it work. I'm left feeling our picture-perfect family is going to be ruined by me. It would be easier if he was some a-hole who verbally mistreated me. He's very passive and will cry. On the other hand, I give, and I never feel taken care of. He never stands up for me. I did a fitness competition, and I was accused of making his sister fall deeper into her eating disorder. They said this to my face, and my husband said nothing in my defense. There's a reply. If he's a good dad, why is he insisting on putting his kids in danger by going to an unsafe daycare? OP, Good point. It's his mom, so I guess he just feels it's the best option and does not like confrontation.
Oh, OP.
OP.
This is a classic case of like, oh, well, here's all these insane, terrible things, but like,
I'm going to keep defending it. Yeah.
but like, he's not that bad.
He's not
like,
that
it could be
bad.
worse. But that's the thing, is that it can always be worse. Always be worse.
But it could be so much better, too.
Yeah. You
Oh, boy.
still have to realize what he is doing, and you have to really think about it with your head instead of your heart. And you have, you have all of your emotional thoughts coming to you, try to make a decision that way. But then you have your logical thoughts. I know you do, OP, and you know that that's telling you to divorce.
The fact that you're like enabling, or not necessarily enabling, but defending, like, oh, he is a good dad. He is a good husband. And like, we haven't gotten a single itty bitty ounce of that in this story.
Yeah.
From what we've got, he is maybe a fine father, but a terrible husband.
Yeah.
Like, he's never putting you first.
But the fact that you literally said that he is not, like, he doesn't have that much importance for his children's safety.
Yeah, I take that back.
Yeah.
He's not a fine father. He's a terrible father. He keeps like insisting you should send the kids to the worst place that we could send them to.
Exactly. Because like any bad person, anyone who's bad and like has done bad things will have like good parts of them.
Yeah.
Whether it's teeny tiny or they have their big nice moments, or he seems like he cries and he's vulnerable, that's because he's human. That's not because he's actually a good person and you're not seeing it. So you have to really like ignore all of the good things, because you can find the good in everyone. Okay. Again, whether it's small or not.
That doesn't outshine all the negative things that you have said.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah, like if you say like all the negative things, you're like, all right, does all this, and then you're just like, he's got a good quality.
Mm-hmm.
He could be worse.
It's like
No. Stop defending it. We do have an update. I'll be making calls today to move my kids, and I have an appointment already scheduled with the lawyer for Monday. It is hard. It's uncomfortable. I know this will be a lonely time for me, but like many of you said, and like I know truly in my heart, the safety of my children comes first, and everybody else can F off. There we go. We do deserve better, and I know I cannot be happy in this marriage, but I can be happy when you listen to full episodes with stories just like this by going to Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app, and looking up OK Storytime.
There we go.
We're at probably like around 72 to 73 days. So
Probably.
You can always start now. There is a second update. I'm just going to go straight into it. Update 2. The universe provided, and the daycare my son went to temporarily had 2 spots open. Last day at mother-in-law's daycare is today. I feel so much weight off my shoulders knowing my kids will be safe. Called my husband and said, this is happening, and I don't give a F whose feelings are hurt. I'm going to step up and take care of my kids. They are number one, and I should have never waited this long.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
I wish we had his reaction, and I wish we had
Probably cried.
info on the lawyer meeting. But I am very happy with you saying those things.
I refuse to let my husband control my surgery decisions.
It's my decision.
I, 42 female, want to have a front airbag reduction surgery. I would not be asking my husband, 40 male, to spend any money on me. We both work, and we put aside an equal amount of money for private accounts, for private savings and spending. Please do not make it about money. By the way, this comes from SaltLeg72, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. We're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do. So put what you know in the comments down below. I've been talking about this surgery since I turned 40, but I've dreamed about it since I was 15. Whenever I spoke about it, he would sit silent and listen, supported me, I thought. Then he asked if I wanted him to go to my first consultation, and I was very happy. Consultations are usually private here, but he wanted to tag along for the first part of the consultation. When I talked to the doctor, who is an internationally respected doctor, my husband sat silent at first. Then he asked when the psychological evaluation would happen. The doctor was puzzled and explained that I am an adult. My husband got irritated and almost yelled, "So you would not mind operating on people with body dysmorphia?" The doctor and nurse were shocked and I was livid.
This man is very attached to your boobs. That's a crazy take, dude. She probably is having a reduction because she has back problems.
Back
or
problems.
Like many other reasons.
Probably so.
That's ridiculous to be like, you can't do that. She's got body dysmorphia.
She's got body dysmorphia. Yeah, I don't think like when it comes to front airbag surgery, there's no mental check.
Well, I mean, just any sort of you should be telling the person like what goes into any sort of surgery or medical procedure. However, usually the doctor is like, okay, like what are the what are the reasons why you want this? And then a person's like, well, I've been having a lot of back pain, and then they're like, okay, well then these are what we can do. This is what the reduction would help with. Blah blah blah. Like a doctor's already gone through all of this with her, and I'm sure if there was like red flags, they would have been like, okay, let's get you.
They don't just give out reduction surgeries left and right. It's a whole process. I'll tell everyone why these stories affect me so much at the end. When we got home, I was destroyed. I'm scared that I've lost my opportunity with the best surgeon in the country and probably one of the best in the world. My husband insisted I need therapy, that he will not allow me to have the surgery because I look perfect. I asked him what he meant not allowing me. I was very angry and crying. He said, well, I will do anything. Tell your family you are mentally unstable and I will leave you.
And at that point, your marriage is over. And you gotta, unless he wants to go to a lot of therapy himself and agrees to that, that is just completely unacceptable. To threaten, to leave you, it's already like, okay, well then let's just do it. Yeah. And then to say that he's gonna tell your family that you're mentally unstable, bye.
My professional opinion as a woman doctor is if you are with a significant other and they have fallen in love with you and your appearance, it would be, I could see the point of view where it could be very hard for your partner to be like, no.
Because he only cares about your appearance. That's what it feels like.
I will say, if my partner came up to me and was like, hey, the junk in the trunk is too much, I need to reduce the junk, I would be upset. I would try and do everything in my power, respectfully, to not let that happen, because I'm like, the junk in the trunk is beautiful. I don't think there's anything that needs to be removed. I think.
And then what if she says, it's gotta go because
too much.
It hurts me.
It's too much.
Too much junk in the trunk.
It hurts
Riley.
me. It hurts my back. It hurts my legs. I can't walk. I can't walk, Riley. Do you want me to stay in a wheelchair all my life? You'll never even see it.
It's just.
Yeah,
I'll
if she's
be
always
sitting
sitting, you're never gonna see the junk in the trunk.
Yeah.
I would have to go through the stages of grief.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say, you can't do that, and I'm going to tell your family that you're mentally unstable and leave you.
Agreed. Okay.
I think we know you love Angie more than her junk in the trunk.
That is true. I would cry, though. I would cry.
And that's okay.
I would cry. So I think.
By yourself in your room.
Yeah. Well, hopefully with her, and then I could talk to him and be like, guys,
you
I'll
have
miss
a ceremony.
She's too busy worrying about her junk in the trunk.
Yeah, but this is, it's very worrisome. Okay, so thankfully I made a new appointment, and the doctor was too kind. I have my new appointment on Wednesday. My husband is livid and said he will never look or touch me again. Am I the a-hole for refusing to listen to my husband? No.
No.
Nope.
Bye.
This guy thinks that
divorce.
Yeah, this guy thinks that there's only one gender in the whole population, and it's men because women are his property, it feels like.
He's like, well, you have to do what I say, so I'm your husband. Yeah. Shut up, man. Get out of here.
That's weird. Carly, what do you think?
He only likes her front airbags.
Clearly.
That's all he sees the woman as.
Yeah.
Comment 1. Do you have any mental health issues? Opie says, yes, I have depression.
And he's probably not making it any better.
He's probably going to run with that now.
Yeah, he's like, well, you're sad.
Oh, but edit has nothing to do with the front airbags or parents. Does OP have physical health issues that are giving her issues? No, just cosmetic, no health issues. I don't like big front airbags. Commenter 2, not the a-hole. Firstly, I would bring it up to your family before he could. Whether it's mom or grandma or even your dad or your sibling, get their thoughts first on the situation with your husband. Second, I would suggest couples therapy. I wouldn't worry about individual therapy. You have been sure about this for years. Meet up with a doctor again without your husband to redo the consultation.
Yeah.
I would love to have a front airbag specialist on the podcast. And it would be interesting to ask them, like, how do people's partners, like, react to it?
Yeah.
You got to get one that makes them bigger and smaller. You can get both sides of it.
Yeah.
Mm.
How do they react? I mean, yeah, I think it's like the same as you reacting to like Angie changing her hair color, you know?
I was thinking that, or
Or
whenever
like
she
shaving
shaved
her
her.
eyebrows. It's like, whoa, it's a
getting
big
nose
it's not
piercings.
that like someone said in the chat, like, you know, it's not that you can't have a reaction to your partner making a big change. It's just that you can't be like, you're not allowed to do that because I said so. That's where that's crossing a line.
The commenter has a question. Has he ever acted like this to something before? Like a minor change you make to yourself or around you? He says, no, never. But then again, this is the first time I want to alter my body with surgery. I know he thinks Botox, etc. is gross, and he has expressed that clearly, but I have already told him that if I wanted to do it in the future, he can keep his opinion to himself. Of course, now I know his silence is just him biding his time, because he has been silent every time I talk about front airbag surgery until it was becoming real. Comment 3, what if you needed a mastectomy? Would he be pissed off that you lost your front airbags? Is he silently implying that he only loves you for the size of your chest? And most people only go down to a C cup, which is still plenty. You were definitely not the a-hole. I think your husband is the one with the issues about your body. OP says, I asked him, and he said that it was a ridiculous comparison because one is life-saving and one is vanity. Well, yeah, he called me stupid making this ridiculous comparison. Comment 4, you might lose an extra couple 100 pounds in emotional baggage
Yes.
along with the front airbag tissue. And I could consider that to be a good thing. Men truly don't understand what it's like to have large front airbags. I think it was like Bethany a while ago. We were talking about, you know, boobs being big.
Bethany?
Yeah, it was a commenter.
Oh.
I remember it because I made a funny comment.
You know, Bethany.
Yeah,
you
Bethany.
know Bethany.
She had to deal with that weight for a long time. And she said that what guys could do is wear sandbags.
Yeah. So that you feel like how the weight of it. And also like running. Running, going downstairs.
Girls.
Are you gonna have the guys?
But you can't do sandbags. If you're gonna do it, you gotta get like the drag queen. Yeah.
The fake ones.
Yeah.
The fake tatas.
Girls,
Uh-huh.
imagine a party where you're the man. The men that come to the party have to wear front airbags,
I love this.
and the women get to have
And
shoes.
you're all wearing maid outfits.
Wait, hold up. This isn't your fantasy. Okay.
It is now.
But the women get to wear.
Okay, fine. Only one of you is wearing maid outfits.
I think I know who gets to wear.
We'll spin a wheel the morning of.
Ew. But the women get to wear like not stilts, but like things that like make them taller than the guys.
Yeah.
And the men have to know what it feels like to be the women.
Okay. I'm
Okay,
gonna be
so what I'm
6'2".
hearing is Halloween this year.
And
on the
we're all wearing Packers.
Yeah. What do we think?
I like
Yeah,
it.
that'd be funny. Okay. Why does OP's husband think his opinion of her body should outweigh her own opinion? OP says, he said, because plastic surgery is addictive. And since I have mental health problems, it must be, therefore, I want to change my body. And of course, he admitted that he thinks my body is beautiful and it shouldn't be altered and that they're not that big to begin with. Commenter 6 says, how big are they after all, OP?
Not really any of your beeswax, commenter.
I'm not asking to say your wish is not valid. I did the surgery myself. I just want to understand how much of an a-hole your husband is. And OP says 75 EF. Euro numbers 34
Okay.
DD. DDD is
Still
approximately.
big.
Double D and triple D.
That is wild. So yesterday I was here complaining about my husband, and my gut feelings were right after seeing the reactions here. My husband is crossing a boundary by trying to control how my body looks. This morning I told him this. He just sat silently and listened to me. Then he said that he wasn't trying to control me or coerce me. But at the same breath, he said he loved my body, and if I am not taking his opinion into consideration, then he knows that I don't care about his opinion. He said he would not look at me the same way or touch me, which I guess head out.
Yeah. Bye.
Huh.
That's it.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, we've made our decision. He's leaving.
I said that I don't want to be married to someone who doesn't want to touch me. Then he said that then we won't be married. He added, but remember, I love you, and you're breaking up with a man who loves you because of superficial changes you want to make to your body.
That's so funny. That's so funny for him to be like, yeah, you're being superficial. As if he's not being superficial.
He said he would stay for the recovery, then move out after Christmas. I said I was going ahead with my surgery, and he just shook his head. He cried later in the garden. You guys have a garden? I can't believe him. He sounds final, like he's been thinking about divorce for a while. I've been waiting for the surgery for 2.5 years because of how busy this doctor is. My preliminary surgery is in November, and I have a consultation soon. I'm going ahead with my plans, and he can go ahead with his. According to him, I'm free to choose whatever I want to do with my body. He is free to leave when it doesn't suit him anymore.
This is true. And he can leave right now because I don't want to look at him anymore.
That's
Bye.
true. Many are asking about the surgery. It is a front airbag reduction. And no, I'm not doing it for medical reasons since I have no back problems or head pains. I am not that big to have these problems. It's purely cosmetic. This is the most important part of my issue with him. I know you mean well bringing up health benefits, but this is about my right to control how I look. He would 100% have supported me if it were for medical reasons because he has in the past. Looking to the future, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, and listen to more crazy, ridiculous stories about husbands, wives, cousins, uncle, dads, whatever. We got them there. Go check it out. Now we have some comments. Carly, Sophia.
I mean, again, it doesn't really matter what the reason for your surgery is. It's your decision. It's your body. And if he doesn't, agree with it or he's not happy about it and his love is only, this deep, then then this marriage wasn't going to last in the first place.
Yeah.
What's he going to do when you are old and
Yeah.
you no longer look like that? Or when you, let's say that there is a health thing or you have to
Mhm.
get a mastectomy because of cancer. Not that I'm, God forbid, but what if any of these things happened? Would he stay because of those? You say he's supported for other reasons, but when superficial things change, I don't know if he's gonna stick around.
Yeah, you're still gonna have boobs after the surgery.
Yeah.
Well, not with a mastectomy. But
No,
Oh.
she's not getting him.
yeah.
Well, you mean in the hypothetical
In
case?
that, yeah.
Yeah. The second that she said, I've heard all the risks of this surgery and it's still something that I want just
Yeah.
because I want it, that should have been the end of that conversation.
Exactly.
I mean, some people even will get mastectomies just if they have the gene for cancer. Are you going to be mad at her
Yes.
for not wanting to get cancer?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not the reason for this one. But
there's so many
again,
different
just
reasons
I
that,
want to was
you know,
enough.
why people who are born with boobs get reductions or get rid of their boobs entirely, and it's really not anyone's decision. The only decision that he has any right to make is to leave her.
Especially, wasn't he saying that she had dysphoria, body dysphoria?
He was saying that, yeah.
Right. So then getting the surgery could fix that. And then maybe she
Yeah.
wouldn't have that
but-
anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that was his point. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that. She confirmed that. I think
For
he was
sure.
just trying to find a loophole.
Yeah. he was
But
trying
it's
to say
funny that he's
anything.
like, you can't do that. You have dysmorphia. And she's like, and that would help with it. If she did have it. but-
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Hope he clarifies the reason for the surgery. I have no medical reasons for the surgery. It's just for cosmetic reasons. I'm only saying this because for me, the reasons shouldn't matter. He would probably side with me if it was medical condition, but his issue is that it's just cosmetic. My issue is that I want to be able to decide how I look because he has read that the recovery could take time. Yes, I know about the scars. I'm thinking more about my appearance with clothes on, less unwanted attention at work. I'm very sensitive to being described as she with the jest of big front airbags and a grin. Dolly Parton, how do you think she went about life?
Happily.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
But also, Dolly Parton had, what's the word? Breast. She
Enhancers.
had a enhancement.
You know what she did? You know what the most baller move
I
Dolly
love
Parton
Dolly
did?
Parton. What?
I heard this. I forgot who I heard this from. She would let the men look at her front airbags for 2 minutes. She's like, all right, look at them. Because right before a meeting, she's like, go
Yeah.
ahead. Just sit. It's like, all right. And then get to the meeting. Because I think she
She's a cool
hated
person.
people.
Yeah.
I also heard that if she's not in her full getup, you wouldn't recognize her on
Yeah,
the
she looks
street.
very different.
Which does make me wonder if maybe they could also be some fake, fully removable ones,
I honestly, I think she's been pretty.
like the drag
yeah,
queen.
yeah,
ones that
yeah.
Sophia was
Which is
talking
she's
about.
pretty,
Oh.
into the drag culture and stuff. But I do think she's been pretty
Yeah, no,
open
I'm
about
sure
it.
that, I'm sure that a good
Yeah.
amount of that is just her.
Yeah.
She's pretty dolled up.
Dolly.
I have talked about the scars with my doctor, and they have come a long way with minimizing the look. I have after my C-section that looks fine. Commenter 1, yeah, he is 100% free to leave, like you're free to do your surgery. That's just how life is. Commenter 3, he's definitely going to spin it that she's the reason for divorce and how horrible she is. He just can't love her if her front airbags are smaller. God forbid she ever gets front airbag cancer because in his eyes, That would be scarring her body for nothing. Opie says he made it clear that I will be the reason because he said, I hope you can live with yourself. Is OP in therapy? I am in therapy since childhood. My husband does not want couples counseling. He wants a psych evaluation. Anyway, he is getting his wishes since I got an email from the nurse about booking an appointment for evaluation before surgery.
Ugh,
I agree. He always wins.
that sucks.
That's crazy.
Why don't they listen to him? You should just be like, go back in and be like, hey, I'm breaking up with this guy. I
not
just want to
going
get
well.
my surgery, please.
Do you think they're doing that just because, I don't know, it's like a sniff of a possibility?
Yeah, probably.
Just
They
to
don't,
save their
they don't want.
backs.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it shouldn't be too hard. Hopefully, it's just one thing.
Opie responds to a downvoted comment about having the surgery for vanity, but not health reasons. My reasons might be silly to you, but I'm tired of wearing loose clothes all the time. Here's a small example of something that happens more than I care for. We wear uniforms at work. Our clients are 99% men. Even if the shirt is modest, many of the men won't even realize that they're taking alternate looks at the chest area and actually the face while they're talking. My office has a glass wall and near the reception desk. One time I heard one client talk to the guys at the reception about having an appointment and he wasn't sure of my name. So with a grin, said, you know, she's with blank, blank, blank. Then he made a big front airbag gesture and both he and the receptionist laughed and did the gesture again. Hush. I know this is a problem not exclusively to me. I know it is a problem every woman has faced, but it doesn't mean that because it happens to everyone that I can't find it seriously hurtful.
Yeah.
That's the end of that story.
Yeah.
Yikes, dude.
Don't need to do that. That sucks.
Dude, I just wish men were more respectful towards you.
Yeah.
And
But I'm glad that you're divorcing this guy.
you're
Woo.
making one change at a time.
Mhm.
Getting rid of all the yucky men out there. Golly, I cannot imagine sitting in a professional setting.
Yeah, and doing that. Come on.
Dude, that's crazy. Ugh.
My mother demanded me to study law to become her divorce lawyer.
Whoa! Mommy said I'm not paying full price.
Right after I graduated from high school, I went to law school. I was excited, and my mom even more. I did well on my first year and was even praised by professors and classmates. Everything seemed like it could go well. By the way, this comes from user Vibia Heathen Witch, and if you want to submit your own stories like this, go to r/OKStorytime on the subreddit. I am Matt.
And I'm Savannah.
And I'm Carly.
We're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. OP says, however, my second year was harder and my mind was so tired and I started to not do so great. I went from excellent to good to average to a disaster. Every bad grade made me spiral and depressed, and the more depressed I got, the worse I was doing at university. My mom was not well, telling me that if I didn't do well, I would be a failure in life just like my dad. Oh my god.
Aw, my God.
I stopped telling her how I was doing or what my grades were. She didn't stop there, though. She managed to make a friend of hers, who was a math teacher at the same university, look into the system and get my grades, and she exploded at me. This seems highly illegal.
Whoa.
This started a long period of nearly daily screaming matches, and I was way too depressed. I ended up repeating my second year, which was terrible. I was ashamed. I tried to be a ghost in the classroom, stopped doing anything extra, and was just so very depressed. The situation with my mom got way worse, as I was clearly not doing well in any sense. I ended up repeating that year again, so I was no longer allowed to sign up at the university. This is the start of my mom calling me a failure for years and comparing me to literally anyone who is younger than me and already graduated from uni. Now she's even comparing me to children doing robotics in their school with a government plan, just to point out that I failed in life. Now for the title. My mom was cheated on by my dad when I was a child. It was a very traumatic experience because my dad got very violent. My dad is still living with his affair partner, and she made sure to gold dig all she could with my dad. My dad even put her on law school in another state, and she became a lawyer. I should have said earlier that my dad is a very well-known, very successful lawyer when we live. That would have been a good context. My mom rages at the fact that my dad had to put his affair partner in law school and takes it on me, saying that why I didn't do it because that B word did it. Besides all of this, my mom had never divorced my dad. They had been going back and forth for years. I usually say that it's because none of them would agree on a divorce term that wouldn't be something like leaving the other one on the street. Also, my country's stupid laws have some fault. At the time, you needed to prove that you were separated and no contact for at least 2 years and other crap like that. Well, 15 years went on and no divorce. Until last year, when my dad used a relatively new law that allows one-sided divorce for lack of affection, and they finally got divorced. Mostly because my mom could not legally challenge it, but there still needed to be a trial for the marital properties that still haven't happened. In the divorce lawsuit that we received, my dad's affair partner figured as his lawyer, and my mom was raging. Here is where she said, if you had finished law school, you could have been my lawyer. It's not the first time that my mom has said this. In fact, she used to say it quite often when I was at uni, but I knew for sure that I didn't want to go the civil path or the criminal path because I didn't want to deal with other people's personal dramas or to deal with criminals. I also voiced it quite often. I was interested in constitutional/public law and even copyright law. Copyright wasn't a class, but I was doing well in my public law classes. I told my mom I would have never been a lawyer. I wouldn't touch your case with a 39.5-foot pole, to which she proceeded to rant about how much of a traitor I am, leaving her to deal with the divorce on her own. It's your divorce, Mom. It's not my divorce.
Yeah, I know. Why is she like involving OP? And I hate that when like parents are, you go through the divorce and everything, and then not only, I mean, maybe they're blaming it on, OP or whatever, but they also involve them in it, and it's like, that's just so messy.
Yeah.
And then that's so much trauma for OP. I mean, come on.
Like, divorce is very difficult on kids. Imagine it being like a normal divorce, and now you're expected to be your parents' divorce lawyer.
Yeah, and now you have to like choose a side basically and then speak badly about one while also not putting your personal feelings in there and opinions and being like, he said this, I witnessed it, but I also, everything would be hearsay. Like that, I don't understand. It would all be hearsay, right?
It's like none of these people are good. Like the mom is awful. The dad's someone who cheated.
Yeah.
Put the affair partner through law school instead of child. I was often told that's between your parents and you, should not have a say in it. This enrages me because I was always in the middle of it. I was weaponized by both of them for years. I was told daily by my mom that if I didn't do well in school, I would be a lowlife like my dad. I was subjected to constantly being compared to my dad to put me down. I was used as a messenger in between them because they refused to talk to each other, even when my dad finally filed for divorce. The court called me because they couldn't reach my mom. By the way, we can always reach you and you can always reach us. Not really, but like spiritually, in a sense. When you listen to full episodes just like this, just go to your favorite podcast platform and search up OK Storytime. There's a relevant update, but how are you feeling, Savannah, on this?
Honestly, Matt, I feel like it just sucks to put OP in that. I really don't like when parents do that, like going through like a divorce. Like I've seen like healthy divorces, but I've also seen like horrible divorces. And like this is definitely classified as like one of those messy, horrible, like let's put our child up to this. Like that has nothing to do with the situation. They're like, figure it out for us.
Yeah,
like that's crazy.
You're causing harm in the divorce.
Yeah.
My mom literally said for years that she wanted me to go to law school so I can be her divorce lawyer. But now that I'm in the second half of my 20s, that's when I'm told that I should have nothing to do with their marital problems, when since I was a child, they made it my problem too. Any advice, please? And the comments are, I work at a college, and what that teacher did is extremely against the rules. They could get fired for sharing that information with your mother. I would suggest reporting it to the registrar. That is not okay. OP said he no longer works at the university because he has emigrated. I'm not sure if it is illegal in my country, but if I had known at the time, I would have complained at the university at the time. Comment 2. Maybe I missed this in the post. Do you live with her? Your mother needs to pick up a hobby like car crushing out to get some of her issues out. Yes, I live with my mom. I want to be able to go to another city and start from scratch away from her, but I need money for that, which you're not going to have if you're paying for law school.
Yep.
Reply. Is dad willing to help you? OP, how will a dad that doesn't even pay child support help me now?
Okay, so there's a lot of layers. So he pays for the affairee. Is that how you say it?
The affair partner.
The affair partner. Thank you. I like how that was a universal thing that I just did not know. I like how he pays for the universal partner's law degree, but won't pay for the daughter, probably because he wants to put the partner and the daughter up against each other and be like, fight, fight, fight.
Yeah.
And like that just, I mean, this all just seems so
He's here for the
exhausting.
drama.
Yeah.
That's what it's there.
But then
for.
also, like, you know, they said that the affair partner was like a gold digger. So like he has money, I'm guessing.
He's
So
a
he has
well-known
money.
lawyer in their area, so he's got the dough. He could if he wanted to, very easily.
Yes.
If your dad is a very well-known, very successful lawyer, how would failing out of law school make you a low life like your dad? It seems like the best way to turn out to be like your dad would be to graduate from law school. OP says, I don't expect consistency with her. She can contradict herself in seconds. But basically, my dad doesn't wear suits and he dresses like a homeless. By the way, he lives in a farm where I was raised when I was little in one of the hottest areas of the country. His affair partner and family were very low income and simple small town people. And yes, she is 100% a gold digger. But yeah, these are the reasons why I think my mom keeps calling him a lowlife. Reply. So she's broke. So she's a broke gold digger, but somehow went through law school quicker than you and was allowed to represent her affair partner in a divorce case without interning at a firm first. She was just allowed to oversee a case herself. OP. She lives with my dad. The university she went to in another state is free. She didn't go through law school quicker than me. She started before I started. Here in my country, you need to register as a lawyer after graduation. And after that, you have free professional exercise, which means you can do what your title allows you to do. If you want to do more stuff, you can do a master's. So no need to intern at a law firm. In fact, there are very few law firms here. Yes, it is unethical, but technically it's not illegal since my dad and his affair partner are not legally married. Trying to make an ethics complaint at a small town court in this country. Wow, your mom made it her life mission to destroy you because she couldn't destroy your dad.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
yeah, it's crazy. Like, why do you have to destroy your daughter's life because like your life didn't turn out the way you wanted it? Oh, well, my daughter's won't either, and I'm gonna put her in my position. Like, make her pay for what? What did she do? OP did nothing. I feel so bad for OP. I want to give her a hug.
For not being my divorce lawyer before you could even practice law. She succeeded. Now she has her punching bag still living at home like she wants.
Aw.
You're in your late 20s, time to pick yourself up, move out, find your own path to happiness in life. Mom doesn't care about your happiness. She only cares about how she can use you to make her life better. She was passed away, set on you being a lawyer. Yeah, that's one of the choices a parent makes when they are looking for a retirement plan. What your dad did to your mom was wrong. No doubt about that. That does not in any way justify what she has done to you. A parent should protect their children. She did the exact opposite. She weaponized and destroyed you.
Yeah, she did.
And that is the end of those comments.
My husband and I have been married 6 months, and I already want out.
Dang, that was quick.
I'm seriously struggling with my marriage and my relationship with my husband. We've been together for 4 years at this point and married for about 6 months. We rushed getting engaged and married because I had found out I was pregnant last October. By the way, this comes from Dynamite Trex, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly,
I'm Sophia.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. There was a lot of pressure from my family to get engaged and married before the baby was born, and unfortunately, we caved to that pressure. We had talked about marriage and getting engaged before that point. We had a pretty solid relationship. I would say prior to the pregnancy and baby being born, I'm realizing now we never had any of the hard conversations. We would fight here and there, but we never sat down and figured out a lot of the important stuff, like finances, future goals, things like that. A lot of that I had thought we would figure out as we went because, yeah, it was a few years at that point, but he was never the type of person to have that kind of conversation. I would get one-word answers here and there when I brought it up. I thought we would sit down and talk about it and figure it all out once we got engaged. Part of me talked myself into thinking that was a normal thing to do. I am now learning it's not. Don't get me wrong, we knew where we both stood on kids and on the next 5 years. But past that, I can't remember major conversations where I actually got a lot of input. I think that should have been my first red flag. I've taken care of everything, pretty much, our entire relationship. I was the one who took out a mortgage to buy our house. I used my entire savings for the down payment. I paid and managed all of our shared expenses and bills. I was the primary one to cook meals, grocery shop, and meal plan or prep. I was the one who basically paid for and put on my credit cards all of our furniture for the house. I was the one to handle anything with our dogs, like vet visits, getting them scheduled, grooming, kennel arrangements when we went on trips. I scheduled, managed, paid for it all. I was the one who maintained cleaning and organizing our home. I was the one who decorated for all the holidays, tried to make sure we had gifts for everyone for Christmas, birthdays, wrapped all the gifts, and so on. His main responsibilities were garbage and laundry. That's primarily it. He covered takeout and dinners here and there. My entire pregnancy was tough, really tough. I didn't know what to expect, but I was very sick during my first trimester and had some bleeding here and there that really scared me. I was considered high risk because of some ongoing health issues, and things got harder again during my third trimester when I became sick all over again and started having early labor symptoms that wouldn't stop. In the end, I had to have an emergency C-section because of the baby's size, preeclampsia, and those same health concerns. On top of all of that, I was trying to plan a wedding. My job's busy season was picking up more than ever, and there were house problems I was dealing with on my own. It was just a lot happening all at once. I was constantly stressed and exhausted. All I really wanted was some comfort and to feel cared for, especially after years taking care of him and everything else for us. But that comfort never really came. The house got messier and messier when I couldn't clean it. The dishes would pile up in the sink unless I did them. I had to remind him to take out the garbage or swap the laundry.
You shouldn't be having to parent, your husband when you're about to be parents.
This is way too much.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
If I asked for something simple like a blanket while I was laying on the couch or a glass of water, I was met with a huge sigh and a frustrated sounding, "Yeah, fine." He claims that never happened. These are just a few examples, but the point is, I wanted to feel taken care of because my life didn't slow down when things got hard and I felt like I was doing everything.
You are. If he's not cooking for you while you're pregnant and every time you don't cook, you guys order out,
And
then
you're
he's
paying
not
for
taking
it?
Yeah, and he's not taking care of you. Learn how to freaking cook, dude.
The issues just built up. It really made me see him differently. We started couples counseling before the baby was born, and it felt like he didn't want to be there. He would barely participate. And then afterward, he would be silent on the drive home because he didn't like what I had to say or what I thought or brought up. Fast forward to when my baby boy was born. He was helpful in the hospital and for the first week home, but after that, it was an immediate downhill fall to me doing everything.
Yeah, come on.
Yes, I know moms take on most of the responsibilities when baby is born, but it felt like 100% me and 0% him.
I believe you. I don't know. He's like trying to be like, yeah, I know, people probably say, no.
This is beyond
in the
normal.
wrong.
He's not doing anything.
Anything.
I was still cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping, ordering the takeout, changing most of the diapers, up all night with the baby, doing all nighttime feedings and changes, and working here and there during my maternity leave. Because I work for my family and had to take care of things while I was out. I still took care of all the shared expenses. I took on getting things we needed for the baby, like formula and diapers. I was combo feeding the baby and trying to make breastfeeding work, but I wasn't producing enough milk, so I had to do both. I definitely slipped on taking care of myself because there was just too much to do. He would get home from work and just sit right on the couch and not ask if I needed anything or to take care of the baby.
Yeah, this is over. I mean, OP, you're paying for things. He's not helping. Maybe he's contributing some finances, but he would still be doing that if you guys divorced.
If he
Wouldn't have to
doesn't
deal
want
with
to be
them.
doing the things physically, he at least needs to be paying somebody to do them.
Yes,
So that it takes it off of your workload.
absolutely.
Some days, he wouldn't even come look at him. He barely did anything once he got home with him. And it seemed like a hassle anytime I asked for anything. even just to hold him so I could go to the bathroom. I would come back and the baby would be in the swing some of the time. I would go out with my mom to get our nails done or walk around Target for an hour once every 2 weeks for a little break. And he would be asking when I was coming home or making it seem that I had been gone for so long. I've spoken about all of my feelings, which is really hard for me to do. A prior awful relationship made me feel like I couldn't. Every time I speak up about my feelings or how I'm frustrated or upset with the imbalance, it turns into an argument or the conversation is turned back on me. Like I'm the one doing things wrong, which is incredibly frustrating. Currently, I'm back to work and I bring my baby with me and work and watch him at the same time. I am extremely lucky to be able to do that. It's not easy, but I make it work. I'm still responsible for everyone and everything. I'm still the only parent that gets up in the middle of the night with my son. The icing on the cake was the other night when I was in tears in the closet because none of my clothes fit me right after having the baby. It's been a huge struggle for me. We were supposed to go out, we had a babysitter, and it was supposed to be a fun night. I got really upset that nothing fit, or I didn't know how to dress my new body. I felt very vulnerable. He came in and hugged me and was trying to comfort me. Then, a minute later, as I'm in tears, he turns it back to himself. He says something's wrong with him and then tries to initiate spicy things. I stopped him because I clearly was not in the mood and he got upset with me. He couldn't even be there fully in a super vulnerable moment for me. I just don't know if I can see myself in this relationship for the rest of my life.
Then don't stay in it.
Get out of there.
Get out of it. Yeah.
I can't keep being the only one doing everything all the time. I am not the only adult. By the way, I know something and that's listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search up OK Storytime.
Why aren't you doing it right now?
We'll finish the story first.
Yeah.
But then.
Yeah. I mean, OP, you've talked to him about it, and he doesn't know how to listen. He's a little baby man. He goes, la 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 la.
Man.
I can't hear you.
You have to take care of him more than your newborn from the sounds of it. I just worry about my son. I don't want a divorced parent life for him, being split between us both. I wanted a happy, loving home where both of his parents were present 24/7. I think I'm making this post for advice. What would you do in my scenario? Would you stay or leave?
I'd leave. You don't
He's
deserve
not
this.
willing to, even after therapy.
Yeah.
And you've voiced your concerns.
That's it. That's all you can do.
We have a comment. I understand you wanting a happy home, but I don't think your husband is capable of providing that. He is a weak man. He might not know how to be a good husband and father, but he isn't even trying. I don't think this is the life he wants. If he wanted it, he would move heaven and earth for you and his son. Your son deserves a happy, safe home. You can provide that for him. Maybe there is a wonderful man out there who will be a great stepdad. Your family can step in as well to be good role models.
Yeah.
And that is the end of that story.
My girlfriend wanted to keep our relationship a secret even after almost a year.
Secret relationship?
And this story comes directly from the OK Storytime subreddit. I, male 26, am a very introverted person and have not been interested in relationships or women in general in my life so far. The focus of my life is on my family, especially my twin brother Jake, who is my best friend and advisor. I've been with my girlfriend Anna, female 26, for about a year. Thanks to her, I have also discovered the wonder of Reddit stories, and after quietly reading along with her and watching the videos, I would like to try using it as a tool for advice for my own relationship. And by the way, this comes from user sadprofession7919. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit where this story was submitted. I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, to fully understand the problem, I need to explain myself a bit. After graduating, I started the 1-year practical part of my training in the fall of 2024 at the very small company where I had initially worked part-time. It's important to note that most of the staff are very young and get along well, and there are several small groups of friends. I always felt very comfortable at work, mostly because I felt very welcome there, and also because my twin brother Jake and a good friend, Maria, female 34, who I have known since university, worked there too. In mid-2024, Anna also began the practical part of her training at my company. There, she quickly became friends with Maria. At the same time as Anna, a nice guy named Max, male 34, started working with us, who soon became her best friend and later also a very good friend of mine. Maria thought Anna and I would make a great couple and made it her mission to convince both of us of this, without the other person knowing. She was playing a little matchmaker. At first, I didn't want to hear about it, even though I immediately found Anna very likable. However, Anna was a lot more open to the topic. When Anna then asked me out on a date, I agreed after a short moment of hesitation. We got along great right away and soon started seeing each other almost every day. We didn't let our differences in dating history distract us. While she had dated many people and had also been in a serious 2.5-year-long relationship, I was very inexperienced when it came to dating and relationships. Finally, just 3 weeks after our first date in November 2024, we became a couple. At that point, we hadn't slept with each other or at each other's places. It all happened very quickly, but we soon spent every minute together, and I was sleeping at her place almost every day, as I was still living at home and we enjoyed the privacy. I soon got to know her family, and we got on great as well. After 2 months of the relationship, at most, I was only visiting my parents' house, where I actually live, sporadically. At work, no one knew anything except Jake, Max, and our mutual friend Maria, who all of them worked there. At first, this was the best and easiest solution for both of us, as we were still officially in training and focused on successfully completing our final exams. In January, Jake, Maria, and I finally passed our exams with flying colors and celebrated together. At the beginning of 2025, it was still clear to Anna and me that we wanted to keep our relationship secret from our other colleagues. This was also supported by the fact that I did more than just help her prepare for her final exam and scientific thesis, which the instructors probably would have noticed, but especially since we had the feeling they already suspected that there was something going on between us, and that she had received a lot of help with her partial exams. Some people at work who were close to Anna suspected that she was in a relationship, or she admitted it. She then told them that her boyfriend's name was Johans because she thought of her former best friend, Johans, male 26. She even showed them a photo with him.
Oh.
Nevertheless, Anna became increasingly insistent on keeping the relationship secret, and I made it clear that for me, this could only be a temporary solution, and that as soon as we left work, I would not want to hide in front of her house or mine, which were right next to work. But then came the moment we had been looking forward to for a long time. Anna had successfully passed her exam in the summer, and we were both looking for new challenges in other companies because the old company no longer had room for us. We had been together for about 6 months at that point. It was clear to me that we could now officially be a couple in front of our old colleagues, some of whom were also friends, and maybe upload a photo together or go shopping together. So, in my eyes, there was no longer any reason to hide the relationship, but everything turned out differently. Right after Anna's exam, Maria asked us why we were still keeping it a secret. My friends and our mutual friends also increasingly thought it was ridiculous that she didn't consider outing us to the public an option. It became more and more clear to me that she didn't want to make the relationship public because she wasn't sure about it. I hoped that this would simply resolve itself over time because, as planned, we both started working for other companies. Then Anna met several times with a new colleague, Noah, male 26, who had also started training at our old workplace and was very isolated from the rest of the colleagues. Noah initially claimed that he was meeting with Anna to find out how things were going at work and who he should avoid. However, right away, it was clear to Anna and me that he was hoping for more from the meeting, and as he has also had my and Jake's numbers, but had only contacted Anna. Before the first meeting, Anna asked me if I was okay with it, and I agreed because I trusted her. Of course, and she hates cheating just as much as I do. Although I wasn't jealous, it bothered me a little that Anna was basically going on a date, which I found a little unfair to Noah, even though I didn't like him very much and fully trusted her.
It's okay to be jealous.
It's okay to be jealous.
That is basically the definition of jealousy.
But and also you should say that to her if that's how you really feel. However you're really feeling about the situation, you should say it to her.
It's not like overly jealous. It's just like,
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like and I'm like mad at you. It's like no, this is just how I'm feeling.
No.
I feel like it feels kind of weird because he probably thinks he probably wants to date you. He probably wants you. He doesn't know that we're dating, clearly. So he thinks you're single.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he should know that you have a boyfriend. She then met up with another colleague from our old job, Michael, male 35. Michael used to be Jake's trainer at work, and we all got along well with him. To understand the situation, it's important to mention that Anna had once asked Michael out on a date, but he ghosted her after the first meeting, which she's still very angry about to this day. I don't know if this meeting, which Michael arranged, was a date for him. I only know that he still thinks Anna is single. Before Anna gets any undeserved hate, I have to mention that I was and am still sure that she is faithful to me. Nevertheless, it felt more and more like a stab in the heart that Anna didn't want or couldn't fully commit to our relationship. During this time, our relationship also suffered greatly because she increasingly noticed my dissatisfaction, and I was having a very hard time at my new job. During this period, I also learned a few things in conversation with Anna that were very unexpected for me. Although I always knew that Anna liked Max very much and found him attractive, when I asked her about it, she admitted that she had feelings for Max until a few days or weeks before we started dating. She also mentioned when talking about our spicy sleep life that she used to sleep with Johans, her former best friend, with whom she now had little contact these days. Clocked it over there. Earlier, at the beginning of our relationship, when she was meeting up with him, she told me he was just a friend. When I reminded her about it, it turned out that we apparently have different definitions of friendship and that she forgot this conversation. I don't think Anna was lying on purpose to me at the time, and of course, she could sleep with whoever she wanted before she knew me, but I didn't understand why she mentioned it in passing. According to her, it was just a minor detail in their friendship. For me, the issue wasn't that I didn't trust her, but I didn't understand why she didn't think it was worth mentioning when she usually told me so much about her friends. After these brief conversations, the subject was never brought up again. I soon began to hint very carefully and casually that we could slowly make our relationship completely public, perhaps on our first anniversary. She admitted that she found it very difficult to go public and even started crying once or twice when I brought it up. But each of these brief conversations was forgotten by the next morning at the latest. Once, referring to our situation, she mentioned that she and her ex-boyfriend had also kept their relationship secret from their friend group at university for 2 years. So my own doubts about the future of our relationship began to grow stronger and stronger, but I always knew and still know that she's a great person with a good heart. In the fall of this year, after a few weeks, I reached a low point in my new job, which is why I now felt that I wanted to at least address the problems in our relationship so that I wouldn't end up in a complete depression. Finally, I decided to discuss the future of our relationship in calm situation. However, the conversations were usually short and, as usual, forgotten by the next morning at the latest, even though we were now aware of each other's dissatisfaction. In one of our conversations, Anna brought up another problem that she had already hinted at before. It concerned our spicy sleep life. We used to have the spicy sleep every 1 to 2 weeks. That was absolutely fine with me because I don't place much importance on it. However, since she showed me very little physical affection, such as hugs or similar gestures, and I'm unfortunately not perfect in that regard either, I always found it very difficult to take a step towards her in this regard. However, since she had a lot of the spicy sleep in her life before, I had suspected for some time that this could be a problem. Unfortunately, these conversations did not improve our situation, but rather had the opposite effect. At first, we basically stopped having spicy sleep, which wouldn't have been a problem for me, but it showed me that she was unhappy. So we basically didn't have any for the last 2 months. What bothered me most, however, was that she stopped touching me, kissing me, and saying, "I love you."
Oh,
She rarely initiated kisses or hugs, often only once a day, but now it was even less, which never bothered me before, but now it did. We also had a short, slightly emotional conversation about a possible breakup and the future after that, even though we still really like each other and want to work on our problems somehow. And by the way, you'll never have a problem listening to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. We have a little bit more story here. Honestly, I think talk to your brother about this, my guy.
I forgot about his twin. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
you said you got a twin. Time to talk to your brother, and I think he's going to tell you you deserve somebody who celebrates you. And it sounds like you guys got a lot of problems. I don't know. I think theoretically they could be salvaged, but like you have to have two parties that want to do it, and I don't think she does.
Yeah, and that's And having your first relationship, of course, you want it to work out.
Yeah.
But you got to also come to that conclusion. It's hard. It's tough.
Yeah. I just don't think she's in it.
Yeah.
You guys have already had a hypothetical breakup talk.
Yeah, and she keeps avoiding it.
I think you might just need to pull the plug, my guy.
And you got hopes of finding another one. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, my brother had issues with finding girls. And I was like, dude, I don't ever think he's going to find a girlfriend. Now he's engaged. So if Tate can do it, y'all can too. But Tate's a handsome man. He just didn't put himself out there all the time. And I'm like, bro, you got it.
Now I'm on a short vacation with Jake, his brother, to recover from my stressful new job, and I'm thinking about how to deal with the situation with Anna. Meanwhile, she's meeting up with Michael again, and I hope that no unpleasant situation arises like it did with Noah, who was also not particularly thrilled when he found out Anna's in a relationship, even though it's not clear to Noah with whom, especially since Jake and Max still work with Noah and Michael, among others. I'm worried about how the situation will turn out, regardless of whether Anna and I remain a couple. How should I deal with the situation now, and am I the a-hole for pressuring Anna to go public, even though I know how difficult it is for her? No, absolutely not. It's your relationship isn't a secret to be kept. It shouldn't be. Yeah. Should I break up with her, even though we still usually get along pretty well, and still love each other? Yeah, you should. I think it's time to break up. That's the end of that story. I think you need to say, hey, you know what? This was good. It doesn't feel like you have any bad blood, which is good. You don't want it. You just say, hey, we tried this. I don't think it's working. I'm not comfortable with where we're at. And I don't think this is going to be good for either of us to try to salvage it. So I think, I just wish you the best.
It was a good time. Move on. We had a good time. It was great. It will be difficult, OP. You got us. You're one of us.
That's right, dude.
You're here
one
with
of
us. It's all good.
She can't take that away from you.
Sure
It's no secret that you're one of us.
Yep.
My long-distance girlfriend flirts with her trainer, but treats me casually.
That should be your long-distance ex-girlfriend.
At the end of last year, 2024, I, 27 male, met a girl, 25 female, online on a dating app. At the time, I was 26 and she was 25, and we started a long-distance relationship. She lived in another city, and that was a hindrance to the relationship, but I really fell in love with her and started having plans to move to her city, and we could be together. By the way, this comes from Competitive Ring 5479, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I am Dakota.
And we are here to give good advice goofily, but we do not have all of the answers. We would only tell you what we would do in this situation, and we would love to know what you would do in the comments. As OP says, at first she seemed like a perfect person. Mature, discreet, and intelligent. Unlike most of the girls I had dated before. And that captivated me, this apparent maturity of hers. I had already had a relationship with a girl with diagnosed borderline who kept having bouts of jealousy and getting into fights with me. But this girl in question was different. She seemed much more mature and calm, and that at first captivated me. She had a very captivating personality, as she was fun, funny, and lively, and at the same time, you could notice a certain shyness in her. She kept saying that she was shy, and it took her a while to be able to let go, etc. In the meantime, as the months went by and talking about calls every day, we started to fall in love. And I started talking about my desire to be with her, to go to her city, to be together, and she seemed to respond. Everything was going well, but one detail had caught my attention, and I found it curious. She had never talked about spicy sleep with me, sent a sensual photo, or anything like that in more than 6 months of conversation. This, in a way, was a little frustrating for me. After all, we are adults, and that's something normal in a relationship between an adult man and woman who love each other. I imagined it because she was a shy and reserved person like she always said she was, and I understood fine. Until out of nowhere, things started to get weird. First one day when she had traveled with her family to a neighboring city where her family had a house, she sent me a photo of a glass of wine to surprise me and see my reaction, as she had always said that she didn't drink. I thought it was strange for her to do that since she didn't drink, and it made me jealous. After all, there were several men there next to her. It was a street party. She laughed and said that she was just trying it and that she liked it but wasn't going to start drinking. Soon after she said that, a girl who was there said that wine made a person excited. I quickly realized that she was trying to make me jealous since the photo showed that there were men near her and she knew that I would be uncomfortable. All said and done. She posted a photo in front of the mirror in her room wearing a super sensual bikini on her profile, looking like she wanted to show off her body and get validation of how hot she was. This frustrated me because it was a photo for all her contacts to see, and the photo was really, really, really very flashy and exaggerated. She posted an old hashtag Throwback Thursday photo that was her at a party with friends, and in that photo, she was wearing a very short dress that you could almost see her panties, whereas the other girls in the photo were wearing a normal dress.
Brother, I don't like where this is going.
What else?
I don't
could
think you
nitpick?
need a girlfriend right now. I think you need to actually read a book.
Yeah.
In the
also-
library, go to the library and just read. Don't look for a girlfriend, just read.
Shh. Also, what else could you nitpick? I mean, it's just like she's posting pictures. And her dress is shorter than all the other women.
He's just looking for an Amish trad wife. That's what he's looking for.
This scared me at the time, and I ended up combining this photo with the one with the sensual bikini, and I realized that, in fact, she wasn't anything modest. She liked to show off her body with sexy clothes and bikinis, and I started to think that I was acting like a fool since she had never been spicy related with me, but she didn't see a problem with herself to other people. She always talked a lot about her family. She was jealous of her parents and her brother and always wanted to be the center of attention. Once she said that her uncle bought chocolate for all her cousins, but he had forgotten to buy it for her, and she spent 2 hours complaining, saying how hurt she was by her uncle and that she felt very sad. A few days later, she said that they had understood each other and that he had apologized to her. She liked to punish me coldly, and when something didn't go the way she wanted, everything had to be her way. She was also jealous of my female friendships, but she always had a lot of male friends and I never said anything. She got a new job and everything started to be about her. She started to act in an egocentric way at that time, talking all the time about how happy she was in this new job, how people had praised her appearance there, the plans she had with the money she was going to earn there, which included buying cosmetics, supplements, joining the gym, and blah, blah, blah. I feel like that's not, when you have a new job, you want to
What?
talk about it. I don't know.
And this is about his ex,
No.
right? No?
This is, did they mention it?
Yeah, his ex had BPD.
Oh.
Because
No,
what?
this-
Have they met up yet?
No. This is still the woman that, like, he's never met but in a relationship for 6 months. And they don't share spicy photos.
And now he's like, oh, she's like talking about stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
she's talking about her life and how she's happy. Ugh.
I tried to be attentive and show support, but I started to realize that she really wanted to monopolize the conversation by talking only about herself and would never stop talking about these things about her. She no longer asked anything about me or talked about our relationship. It became all about her. When she was already in this job, she started to become hyper-focused on buying clothes, especially gym clothes. And then she started sending me several photos of clothes asking my opinion. Again, seeming like she was sending photos of exaggeratedly short clothes on purpose to make me jealous. Like, okay, you tell her to send well, you don't even tell her to send
No.
photos, but you want photos, then she gives you the photos, you're like, who else are you sending those to?
This guy's hopeless.
Like-
This guy's hopeless.
It seems like, catch-22
Yeah.
here.
No, he's hopeless.
And then one day, she sent a photo of gym shorts that were so tight that the model's vajayjay in the photo was showing. I showed her jealousy, and she pretended to be jealous that I had noticed that I was marking a vajayjay of the model in the photo. She had certainly noticed it too, and sent the photo to leave in my subconscious that she would be the one with her vajayjay marked when she wore the shorts.
Honestly, I hate you, bro. Stop talking to people. Stop talking to everyone. Talk to no one. Get in the pit. Get in the pit. You belong in the pit, little pit person. Get in the pit.
She started making jokes, mocking my appearance. I took it as a joke, but over time I started to get upset because she got worse to the point where it seemed like she was really trying to humiliate me and put me down. Then there was a day when I got angry and complained to her. She played the victim, saying she was just joking, and she was very hurt that I thought she was doing this to humiliate me because, according to her, she would never do that. But at no point did she apologize to me. She made the situation about her and how hurt she was that I accused her of wanting to put me down. A while later, she was increasingly colder towards me, and I decided to distance myself from her. We stopped talking, but a month and a half later, she came to me again, saying that she had dreamt of me and that she received a warning in the dream that I could be in danger, and that's why she decided to warn me. Then she started talking to me, and because I still liked her, I accepted the approach, and we ended up talking again.
Why do you still like her? Everything you've said leads me to believe you kind of despise her.
Yeah, it seems like you're kind of jealous of her for just liking her.
I have a theory. You're desperate. That's never a good vibe.
Yeah. But then a few days later, I see her tagging her personal trainer in a TikTok meme, and I questioned her. I already knew that she had joined the gym, but I didn't know that she was training with a male personal trainer, and in that, she said that she had hired a male personal trainer, but that he was married and had never hit on her. By the way, we will hit on you if you come over and listen to these episodes, full episodes just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's a little bit more, but you got anything?
Get off the dating apps. Better yourself. You're not ready for this, dog. You are not ready for this, big dog. And you know what? I may be a little harsh on you right now, but it's because you're acting like a weirdo, okay? So, big dog, you got some big changes to make.
Yeah, it's just, it reeks of desperation and of, like, low self-esteem and just wanting to, like,
it's control.
Complain. Yeah,
it's like
about something
you're talking
that doesn't
about
matter.
all this stuff where it's like, oh, and she does this, and she sent that because this, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, I have an idea. Stop talking to this girl you've never spent a single second with in the same room.
Yeah.
Like before. It's okay. You can just stop talking to her.
Yeah, that's the good thing about long distance is that you're not really together, so you can just be like, hey, I don't really like this anymore. Peace. But instead, you're choosing to just stick with her and then complain about it.
Got weird juju, man.
Yeah. All right, let's see what the update is. But she was tagging the guy in memes as if they were very intimate, which even made me suspicious as to whether he really was married, since if it was probably the guy's wife, would he feel comfortable with a student acting like she was so close and friends with him, tagging him in memes? For me, it ended up being the last straw, and I decided to walk away since I didn't feel comfortable in this relationship, and I felt like I wasn't a priority for her and it wouldn't work. A month has already passed, and I still think about her a lot. Sometimes I miss her, sometimes I brood and feel angry about the way she treated me, and sometimes I think that maybe it's my fault for the way I handled things, that I could have acted differently and things could have been different.
We're on maybe the right track. Hey, but not the right lens to be looking through. I think you need to be more focused on why did I want to maintain a long distance relationship with this girl? What do I want out of a relationship? Like, come on, man. Being like she hasn't sent me any spicy weird. Being weird.
Yeah.
My best friend lied about me, and now I regret forgiving her.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
I'm currently 26 female, and this happened around 2017 or 2018 while I was in high school. She recently tried to reach out, and I figured I wanted to share this story. By the way, this comes from Same Chipmunk 8447, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Angie.
And OP says, back in my freshman year of high school, I had 0 friends. I came from a private school to a public high school with triple the amount of kids. I was overwhelmed and scared, but I eventually had to swap from one class to another, meeting my now ex-friend, Katie. Katie was extremely outgoing, friendly, and hyper. I loved this about her because it made me feel more comfortable, and she was always there. Around my junior year, I started dating someone. This was my first boyfriend, and I was excited. I asked her and the others we ate with if it was okay if he also ate with us. No one had an issue, and we all got along. Or so I thought. He only ate with us a few times, and I'd eat with him and his friend group too. We also ate separately sometimes. We never showed PDA because I have a thing about that in front of others, especially friends and family. The issue came when Katie had a crush on my boyfriend's friend, Dustin. She asked me if I could set up a date for her and him, and if I could join because she was nervous. Then she got more nervous, worried I'd be mad about being a third wheel. I told her I could invite my boyfriend along, so it would be Dustin's friend and us two. She agreed, saying it would be great, and we made plans to go bowling. The day came and Dustin canceled last minute. I told Katie and she said, well, then just tell your boyfriend you're sick and cancel on him so me and you can go bowling. I told her I wasn't comfortable lying to my boyfriend, and instead I'd invite someone else so she wouldn't be a third wheel. She agreed, and I even asked her which friend she'd prefer. I invited a mutual friend of ours. I even asked my boyfriend if we could avoid any coupley stuff because I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. He was completely okay with this and super understanding. I ended up mainly hanging with her, and my boyfriend hung out with our mutual friend. There was no flirting or anything, and we all had fun bowling and going to the mall afterwards. Katie and I hung out alone after because my boyfriend and our mutual friend left together. We spent another hour or two at the mall looking around before leaving. This is where things got worse. We were cool for a few days, talking and sending Instagram memes to each other. Then maybe after a week or two, I'd show up to eat lunch with her and everyone else, and she would look at me, say nothing, gather her things, and walk away. I would ask the others why she was leaving, and no one said anything. Then they would leave me to follow her. This happened for a while before I finally got an answer where someone said, look, I don't want to get involved. When I pressed her more because I didn't understand why Katie was ignoring my calls and texts, she was hesitant but finally told me, Katie told us you invited her to hang out with you to go bowling, and last minute you invited your boyfriend and were making out with him and ignoring her, and ended up ditching her at the bowling alley. That wasn't even remotely true!
Not one bit.
Bold-faced lie. I tried explaining what really happened, but no one wanted to get involved or even hear my side of the story, even when I had texts to prove our conversations. I ended up eating alone for the rest of the year. My boyfriend was a grade above me, so he graduated. All my friends from his group were also a grade above me, so they were gone when I was a senior. I ended up having no one to hang out with or talk to for my senior year. I heard from the other girls in her friend group she was starting to hang out with some bad crowds and they were distancing from her. After graduation, maybe a few months later, I got a very long text from her on Instagram apologizing to me about what she did. I would either not respond or I would say, tell everyone that you lied.
Yeah, your apology to me means nothing.
Yeah, until you tell everyone you lied.
Because I don't care about being friends with you anymore, but you just stole all my other friends.
Oh,
for
all my
nothing.
friends.
But also, if the other friends weren't believing her when she literally had receipts.
Yeah, what?
And
Terrible
they all
friends.
just got up and stomped
They
away.
all just immediately believed Katie with no proof or
Yeah.
asking OP about this.
Like, screw all of them.
Yeah.
This makes me want to throw up. I want to throw up all over these high schoolers.
Also, I do want to say that's not even a good reason to, like, drop OP. What we learned, what Katie told them was she invited her boyfriend last minute, was making out with him, left me to go with him.
Yeah.
She even admitted she lied to everyone about what happened. Told me the reason she lied was because she was jealous I had a boyfriend and jealous that, in her words, I felt like he was going to take you away from me. She said how sorry she was and missed me, and I was her best friend. She was the only close friend I had. It took me a while to think about what I wanted to do. I ended up forgiving her because I really missed her in my life, and I thought maybe she had grown if she was willing to apologize. This brings us to a year or two ago. In the year or two after she apologized, we only hung out once or twice. I had asked her to hang out, but my texts were ignored or replied to weeks later, claiming she was busy. I know that wasn't always true because she'd post on her Instagram story playing games and just sitting in her room bored. I'd wish her a happy birthday, Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Easter, and she would never respond back or just say sorry for the late reply. She only messaged me whenever she wanted to hang or she needed something. Even when we went out, I always ended up paying for both of us because, coincidentally, she didn't have her wallet or money. I thought maybe it was just accidents until I saw this clear pattern. The first major red flag was her calling me, crying hysterically, begging me to come meet her at the park near her house. She thought her parents were punting her out and she rode her bike to the park. I left my friends to go check on her. While she told me her side of the story, she got a call from her dad and put it on speaker. Long story short, her parents were not punting her out. She was yelling at them as her dad said on the phone, Katie, we didn't punch you out. You need to take a deep breath. We told you if you keep screaming and yelling at us and you couldn't fix your behavior, then we would consider punting you out. I had to drive her home with her bike in the back of my trunk. The next incident was her calling me, begging to talk because her boyfriend at the time gave her chlamydia. Long story short, he cheated on her and blamed substances and booze for his behavior, claiming he didn't remember, but got an STD test the next day and didn't tell her until after he gave it to Katie. That's terrible. I spent hours comforting her and giving her advice. I told her he cheated and she shouldn't trust him. I offered to take her out, buy her dinner, and anything to help. She said no, and I spent 4 to 5 days in a row on the phone with her. She was very upset because she wanted to be with this guy forever.
That sucks, but if he was wrong, there has to be some sort of instance where that's proven to you.
She told me she was going to break it off with him, saying, his mom told me to find someone else, that she's so sorry he hurt me and I deserve better. I'm going to give his stuff to his mom and not talk to him again. She kept making comments about how she wanted to say goodbye in person, but I told her that probably wasn't a good idea because she was emotional and not thinking clearly. After all of that, I didn't hear anything from her. I texted to check in, say hey, happy holidays, etc. Then found out she got engaged to him because I saw pictures on her Instagram.
She did talk to him.
Yep, she talked to him.
She did talk to him, and she said yes.
Whew. I asked a mutual friend of ours to be sure if that was an engagement ring because I didn't want to assume. She confirmed it was the same boyfriend and they were in fact engaged. I was furious that I spent 5 days comforting her when she needed it and she ended up back with him and engaged. Never did she text me first unless she wanted something. This made me realize that Katie only wanted me to be her friend because the other group of kids she hung out with didn't care about her problems. Katie had made comments about them excluding her and telling her they didn't care about her issues. So it finally hit me. I didn't want her in my life. I didn't want to spend more time reaching out to someone who would ignore me, not be there when I needed them, or even hide an engagement from me. Everyone else knew because she texted others about it, just not me. She sucks, OP. You deserve better.
You really do.
You're one of us.
Oh, God.
You need better.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't believe that she, really cares about you.
No.
Maybe
she cares about using you.
Yeah, maybe there are times, I doubt you would still be there if you didn't like hanging out with her somehow. So I'm sure there are some good times with her. But, all of these instances of her coming back just seem like, oh, I had nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
So I have to come to you, I guess.
Exactly.
So
she's losing everyone around her, and then you're this constant person who she can come back to and will take her back. So just don't take her back.
Exactly.
Everyone else knew because she texted others about it, just not me. That hurt considering she still said I was her only best friend. Looking back, the pattern was crystal clear. Katie would disappear when things were going well in her life, only reaching out when she needed emotional support or money. When I needed support, she was nowhere to be found. The friendship had become completely one-sided, with me constantly giving and her only taking. The bowling incident wasn't just jealousy, it was a calculated attempt to isolate me from my boyfriend and control my social life. When that didn't work, she spread lies to turn our entire friend group against me. The apology after graduation wasn't genuine remorse, it was her realizing she needed someone reliable to lean on when her other relationships fell through. The engagement situation was the final straw. After spending nearly a week supporting her through what she claimed was the worst betrayal of her life, she not only went back to the same guy, but got engaged to him without telling me. She made time to share this news with everyone else in her life, but deliberately excluded me. I also noticed how she'd always had convenient excuses when it came time to contribute financially. She'd suggest expensive activities, then suddenly not have her wallet or claim her card wasn't working, leaving me to cover everything. By the way, you know what? We cover full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I'm glad she's getting out of this friendship.
Yes, you're free.
Yes, finally. It's so exhausting here about so many stupid people. But luckily, in most of these stories, they learn to let go of these stupid people. They recognize that too.
Leave them behind.
Leave them behind.
She is your past, and you're going to have a much better future without her.
Exactly.
But there's a little bit left. The constant crisis calls were another manipulation tactic. She'd create dramatic situations or blow minor conflicts out of proportion, then demand immediate attention and comfort. But when I had my own problems or needed support, she was always too busy, or would respond days later with minimal effort. So I blocked her Instagram and her number. I didn't want to keep people around who didn't respect my time or me. Good on ya. Maybe about a month ago at work, I got a call. The caller ID showed a name I didn't know, but she has a very unique last name I recognized. I didn't want to talk to her, and I asked my male coworker if he could answer for me, saying it was the wrong number. He put it on speaker, and it was definitely her. I blocked the number and told my coworkers the story. They were surprised she'd ever reach out to me and agreed that blocking her and cutting all ties was the right move.
Good.
And that's the end of that story, but I agree that was the right move.
I can't trust my boyfriend after he lied for his best friend.
Deception!
My boyfriend Chris, 28 male, and I, 26 female, have been dating for 3 years. We're both teachers and met at work. For this incident, I would have gone on about how I found the most perfect man and that he was the one. Chris was at school for 4 years before I joined. About 7 years ago, the school was taking on quite a few trainees. 10 other trainee teachers joined alongside him and created a tight-knit friend group. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/showcase storytime subreddit. So the holiday together, best man / maid of honor at each other's weddings type of friends. Since Chris and I have started dating, I've been adopted into this new group. I have no issues with any of them, but it's been implied that I'm being tolerated by some of them for his sake. I really don't care. I keep to myself and only feel comfortable around select people. There's been some drama in group recently that it's caused me to reevaluate my relationship. 2 teachers joined the group, Bethany and John. Joined the same time as Chris did and started dating within the first year. John proposed to her about 2 years ago, but as far as I know, they haven't thought of wedding planning at all. Chris said John proposed to Bethany because he felt he had to after so many years. About a month ago, we had a week off and the group went on a night out. I joined them after Chris insisted and only stayed until about 11 since I wasn't feeling very well. I asked Chris the next morning if anything of note happened, and he just shrugged and said he couldn't remember since he got so pissed and wasted and that they were just being idiots. I didn't think anything of it, and we enjoyed our holiday. This Monday, I went into the secondary staff room for lunch and saw Bethany sitting by herself in there. This staff room is situated on the second floor of the school, and apart from myself and one other teacher, no one comes here unless they need to hide something when our rooms get inspected. I asked why she was in here today instead of eating lunch with John. She glared at me and left, slamming the door on her way out. I told Chris what happened, and he told me just to ignore it and not to get involved, that John and her were going through a rough time. I saw both of them at school a couple of times this week, and she either looked on the verge of tears or furious, and he seemed absolutely normal. At the end of the day yesterday, I was packing up and getting ready to leave for the day when Bethany knocked on my door and asked to speak with me. Real quick, any theories?
Somebody kissed someone they shouldn't have. It's like
Chris kissed Bethany.
it's just like it's a rock and a hard place.
It started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this?
Yes.
It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss.
Like so.
My pet rock hates it when I say that.
I this guy's crazy. I feel like we all know what's going on. It's got to be like an ultimatum type situation. You go, look, dude, you either tell her what happened or like I'm going to have to say something.
Or blackmail.
But like you should say what happened because it's like you did something.
Chris?
Yeah, whoever's the offending party needs to, if you're actually like, if you're friends with everyone here, like this has happened to me once before. A friend reached out and was like, I did this thing. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you have two. I'm like, I don't know this other person. I have no skin in the game. You have two options. I've known you for a decade more. I've known you forever. Your option is either tell them immediately or never, ever say anything and deal with it for the rest of your life. Those are your two options. I guess you're going to have to pick one. I think I know which one I'd pick, not the one that would torment me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I didn't want to have a conversation with her after her reaction on Monday and the way she was snapping all week, but she looked so angry, I couldn't say no. Bethany and I had never really gotten along. When I first joined, she would purposely do stuff to leave me out, like turn her back towards me when I tried to talk to her in the friend group, or talk about plans in front of me that I was not invited to. She made some comments when Chris and I started dating, like he was settling for me, really juvenile, mean girl stuff. She came in, fully stormed towards me, and said I was a fake witch for not telling her the truth. I had no clue what she was talking about and told her she needed to step back or I would report her to HR. That seemed to snap her out of it. She started snobbing suddenly and literally sat on the floor. Felt like I was dealing with an unruly student. I had no clue what to do. I tried to calm her down and asked her what happened. She told me John had slept with someone the night everyone went out and I left early. Apparently all the guys left the pub we were initially at to go to a club, and there was a teacher assistant who also works at the school. Jess joined them and her, and John had spicy sleep in the bathroom. So the TA and John had spicy sleep in the bathroom.
Okay, how'd we find that out? How do we know about that?
She was just assisting him in the bathroom.
And is there a Johnson that is about to come out of this?
John's John.
A John's son.
It's
Son
John
of
John, yeah, from Mars.
Just keep your Johnson in your pants, John. I asked how she found out. She told me she saw some texts between Jess and John that night. They had slept together, and they slept together 3 more times. She told me she also saw texts between Chris and John, and that Chris knew about what had happened that night, and that he had covered for John that night. I told her I needed proof, and that I wasn't going to believe her over my boyfriend. When Chris got home yesterday after the gym, I decided to talk to him about it. I told him straight up what Bethany said to me, and that she accused him of hiding it. He was quiet for a moment, but I already knew the truth. He looked too guilty. I felt sick in that moment. Bethany had been his friend for years, and he let her get betrayed in such a big way and hid it as well. He tried defending himself and said he told John to tell her the truth, and it wasn't his place to expose him. I said I wanted to see it. I wanted to see the evidence of him telling John to come clean. We're not the type of couple that checks each other's phones and stuff. I've never not trusted Chris. Even before we started dating, he was my closest friend, and I've always felt like my heart was safe with him. I've always believed him if he told me something, but finding this out shook my confidence in him. He handed over his phone, and I looked through the messages between him and John. The first one regarding this incident was the following morning, where John was kind of laughing off that what he had done as a little oopsie, and Chris just wrote back, "You effed up. Just make sure you drink enough over the half term to forget about it." Great advice from a good old friend.
Not really the advice I was hoping to see.
Just become a little alcoholic so you don't have to remember it.
Well, if you binge drink, you might forget you did it. Bad. Not a great look.
There was nothing there about owning up to his mistake and telling Bethany the truth. I looked through the messages, and every time they referenced that night, it was with such cavalier, nonchalant attitude like John hadn't committed the ultimate betrayal. Chris insisted he had told John to come clean, but that they had talked about it face to face. But I don't know if I believe him. I do sincerely believe you are the company you keep. And while I really didn't enjoy how loud Chris would get when he was around John and the rest of the group, I really did think they were good people, and albeit a bit immature, but John is basically quite vile person, and seeing Chris laugh off his transgressions has made me cautious.
So she's saying it's like he becomes like a little lads, boys, for the boys.
For the boys.
You
Saturdays
can't
are for
do
the
that, though,
boys.
man. I mean, like, you can do that, but like, if somebody, dude, like, if anyone in this room like cheated on any one of their partners and I witnessed it, I'd be like, that's literally, like, you literally
Ultimatum.
You have to tell them, because why should I have to tell them? That's messed up.
Well,
I don't want to have to do that.
if I saw anyone in this room cheating, I would ultimatum and be like, you either tell them or I'm telling them at the end of the week.
You have X amount of time to come clean about this, or I'm gonna have to, and that's so dumb.
I don't want to break up over this. But how do I tell him that his reaction has caused me to lose some trust in him, and that it's made me think that he is also capable of doing the same thing to me? I talked to my sister about this. She thinks this is a break-upable offense, but I've had a couple of people say I'm overreacting. Am I overreacting? You sleep with the dogs, you get the fleas.
Dang. You sleep with the dogs, you get the fleas. Dang. Yeah, I mean, accurate.
Keon?
Good job. I've never heard that, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times in my childhood. I thought
Sleep with
everybody
the
did.
dogs, you get the fleas. I mean, like, is this a break-upable offense? Like, it could be. It just depends on, like, it just depends on where you're at, you know? Like, beyond his, like, reaction to it, I think if he would have just been honest about it and been like, yeah, like, I don't know, I just, like, made a joke about it because I was, like, super uncomfortable. I didn't know what to say. That's one thing. But the fact that he was like, no, I totally told him he had to, you know.
He's
I
lying
told
about it.
him. Yeah, the fact that he lied about what he said makes me feel like that's what's more breakup worthy than the fact that because not everyone's going to be like, oh, you have to tell her I will. It's like, but that doesn't necessarily make them bad. It's just some people mind their own business, and that's the code that they live by.
Yeah, they don't want to get caught in the crossfire.
You know?
Like, it's your drama, not mine, kind of thing. But,
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's
Weak
the lying.
Weak mindset, honestly.
What?
Yeah.
That you don't care about your friends enough to keep them accountable. Weak mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Some people are just not strong.
there's a spectrum of friends, but if these guys are best friends, then yeah, it should definitely be more like a, it just depends. Like there's definitely a spectrum on like how much I would have to know somebody before I'm like, I'm going to stick my neck out and like insert myself into the situation.
Agreed.
Yeah.
We have an update. I like to think of myself as someone with strong morals, and after reading the comments, I felt like I had bent my beliefs because I love my boyfriend, and in turn had some kind of betrayal myself. So I had a good long decision with Chris the day after I posted and told him how disappointing his behavior was, and if he could hide such a big secret for John, then he was capable of hiding something like this for himself as well. I couldn't be with someone who not only was fine with cheating, but actively lied to a friend about it, since Chris and Bethany were friends as well. He looked awfully ashamed as I vented out my feelings, and the only time he was defensive was when I said he was capable of cheating on me. He said he loved me, and that he would never touch another woman and risk losing me. I believe he hasn't cheated on me, but after this incident, the unshakable trust I had in him wavered slightly, and I let him know that.
I mean, it is pretty crazy to probably read like, if you just like drink enough, you'll forget about it. It's like, have you done that?
Yep.
Have you done that?
You have been drinking a lot recently. What
Like-
does that mean?
I don't know, man.
What are you trying to forget?
Yeah, it's just bad. It's bad. It's bad.
I told him I expected better, that if a friend of his behaved in such a bad way, then he would take the time to correct them, or at the very least cut contact with people like that. That kind of mindset where cheating becomes acceptable is almost contagious. He said he completely understood where I was coming from, and that he was disappointed in himself for letting us both down, and that he got caught up in being a wienerhead with the guys. I said if hanging out with those guys makes you a wienerhead, then stop effing being around them. It's not that hard. He fully acknowledges that, and you can fully acknowledge that you can listen to more stories just like this one on your favorite podcast platform. Just search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, and listen for as many days as you can count. Real quick before the end the story, boys, any other thoughts?
It's gonna be it's not how he responds, it's how, his actions. Like,
Yep.
okay, you acknowledge that, great, and you're listening to OP now, but where do you go from here? Is he really gonna do that? Do you really think he's gonna separate himself from the boys? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it is one of those like the company you keep type things, at
Yeah.
some point.
Show me your 5 friends and I'll show you who you are.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. When I lived in New Mexico, one of my neighbors would always say weird. Like, he was married, and he would always say weird comments about other women and like women in general. And even though he's married, and I'd always be like, "Dude, you're married? Why are you like? What are you doing?" I'd be like, like what are you doing? You're married." But it's like I don't know him well enough to like try to like put the screws into him. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm no authority over this guy that I'm like an acquaintance with. But guess what? Found out recently, no longer with his wife and is probably with some girl that he cheated on her with. So it's like when people talk like that, it's like, yeah, they're not. You listen to people the way that they are. It's like
People's talks lead to their actions.
yeah, and then people, that they're just like they can just justify it or whatever. I don't know. It's
People justifying things is scary. I used to justify buying camera equipment all the time. That was a scary time. A little bit left here. I said I wanted to see more than words and was going to stay with my sister for a couple of days while he fixes his mistakes. He says he would prove to me that he could be better. So far in the past week, I know he had apologized to Bethany by hiding John's cheating since she came and told me. She said she wasn't ready to put everything behind them just yet, but appreciated Chris actually apologizing for hurting her since John hasn't bothered. At work, Chris and I have been cordial, and no one knows we're not living together currently. He comes and eats lunch with me instead of going to smoke with the guys like he used to do when we had just began dating, and even put up some shelves in my room for me since the site team was taking too long. He hasn't asked me to come back home yet, but says that he misses me and wants to give me my time. Him and John are still friends, and I can't imagine Chris will ever fully cut him off, no matter how big a prick he can be. But I can see that Chris is trying to make amends, and while I still feel upset and disappointed in his behavior, my heart is softened towards him again, especially when I see him trying so hard. A part of me is worried that if we get back to normal, he'll eventually go back to being a lad again. I do miss him a lot, but just need some objective advice. I like it. It's giving little love bomby, but it's good steps.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just got to go with your gut, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you feel like it's like this thing that's going to be like an irreversible thing, because he did lie. He lied. He lied right to your face because he knew that what he did was going to be bad.
Yeah.
And he lied until it was like he couldn't maintain the lie anymore. And he had to be like, okay, well, I guess and then he lied again. And he said, I talked to him in person, and that's what I said.
He finally saw the consequences of his lying, and now he's trying to make up for it, which it sucks that you had to have your girlfriend talk to you about it instead of being a man and taking like accountability for your actions and keeping accountability for your freaking friends. Oh my gosh.
True. There's like, yes.
Just keep drinking so you forget about it. Oh.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think I saw some comments about my story about my neighbor. I feel like that's the difference between like a friend and an acquaintance.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to go out of my way for someone I like barely know and be like, this is what you, I'm just going to be like, okay, well, I feel bad for that guy's wife. Like, and I'm going to move on because it's really, I only have so much I can.
You can give
whatever
or say.
Everyone only has so much of a battery to like do that kind of stuff, or like how much there's like the buckets or the cups or whatever you want to call it. It's like, if you're gonna get involved in someone's business, it better be somebody that you actually care about, and it's like there's like some level of weight there.
Weight or influence you can have on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Well, that is the end of that story. That is a cursed episode all the way around.
A cursed episode.
But guys, into that episode. If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you, and
see you tomorrow.